hope you know what you did to me. I'm grateful for what you did for me. You show me that you ain't shit and these bitches is dangerous. Now I do them just how you did to me. And I know you see the pain in my eyes, every secret a lie. Got a reason to cry before I sleep at night. I need my peace of mind. I see you fine, but I'm far from that soul. Now I'ma be savage, but you made it happen. And you made a habit getting down. I wonder what happened. I thought we would last, that we turned into ashes, burning and crashing. Why can't I get past it? Why can't I get past it? Damn, girl, you changed up the best one. I just feel sorry for my next one. Cause I'ma be selfish, I'm gonna be selfish. And no one can change my mind. No one can help me. Oh, I'm gonna be selfish, I'm gonna be selfish. And no one can change my mind. No one can help me. Oh, I'm gonna be bad, bad, bad. Because I just can't do this again. Don't wanna feel like this again. So she has to. Now I'm up in LA, I'm with a bitch from the Bay. I'm telling her that I love her, but my feelings are fake. Because I find another and I'll tell her the same, knowing that I don't mean the thing I say. Now I'ma be savage, but you made it happen. And you made a habit getting down. I wonder what happened. I thought we would last, that we turned into ashes, burning and crashing. Why can't I get past it? Why can't I get past it? Damn, girl, you changed up the best one. I just feel sorry for my next one. Cause I'ma be selfish, I'm gonna be selfish. And no one can change my mind. No one can help me. Oh, I'm gonna be selfish, I'm gonna be selfish. And no one can change my mind. No one can help me. Oh, I'm gonna be.
I need to talk to Mike Lowry.
Hello, this is Mike Lowry.
Double A flex.
This is the sound.
Through the night when it be storming, hoping everything could clear up by the morning. Niggas telling lies, so I gotta be honest. Ask me for the tellage, you know that I'ma run it. Turned up like we want it, we pulled up on that dumb shit. Flexing on these niggas, pockets full of blue honey. Ain't no going back, you know I'm gon' keep it coming. Ain't no time to waste, a nigga play, we gon' burn him. Today Friday, so you know we on that clad and dodo. I got black and white bitches knocking in my dodo. I'm in the middle of the room, posted with a fofo. I got it out in case a nigga wanna take a photo. Remember me and 3, we used to ride up in a stolo. Now I'm in a two-door coupe, it used to be a photo. Don't pay for cable, he want static, tell them let me know though. I'm quick to let a nigga have it, you know I'm a blow though. Late at night, I used to sneak out my grandfather's window. And I was cooling on a flight and I was hitting them licks though. Wasn't for him, I wouldn't be shit, so I ain't got a trip though. $10,000, that ain't shit, I gave him that times 3 though. Through the night when it be storming, hoping everything could clear up by the morning. Niggas telling lies, so I gotta be honest. Ask me for the tellage, you know that I'ma run it. Turned up like we want it, we pulled up on that dumb shit. Flexing on these niggas, pockets full of blue honey. Ain't no going back, you know I'm gon' keep it coming. Ain't no time to waste, a nigga play, we gon' burn him. Can't talk no gun, but got that Glock while I'm up in the Yodo. Plus my P.O. and the police knocking in my dodo. I get curious to lace the tracks just like a blunt of dope though. I told Nene I'm coming back, she think I'm with a hodo. 100 grand in my pocket when I wanna flex. Back in the day, them niggas laughed when I said them niggas. Up with the chopper, case that boy try reach for my neck. You know I pop him, fuck that shit, I put his ass to rest. Turned up like a one.
Yeah, I bet you know that left you hanging. Yeah. Terror Squad again. Long overdue, baby. Don Cartagena, bringing you the best in hardcore hip hop. Yeah, yo, it's the dawn of rap, sipping cognac, hit you on the back with the Mac, clack, clack, slip you in the cardiac. It's the art of rap at the illest form, from a killer realest point of view, who thrives off the envy of jealous ones. You can tell it's on from my introduction. I've been in conjunction with killing something when you was barely dumping. You ain't even nothing to worry about. I flurry your mouth with about 30 right in front of your house. Then I'm hurrying out in the expedition. Professional hitman, investable shit from incredible distance. Federals is listening to my conversations, taping all the songs I'm making, shaking down every ounce of my congregation. John blazing, raising the stakes, changing your fate. Tied up in my basement with a gauge in your face. Make no mistake, that's how I do my thing. Blow out a lot of brains, I'm saying it's not a game.
Take these words home and think it through. Or the next rhyme I write might be about. Take these words home and...
You don't understand the title? Think about it. Think about it. What's going on, Cal? What's going on, Summer of the World? What's going on, Julio? What's going on in the beginning? What's going on, James? What's going on, Barstow? What's going on, Orange? What's going on, Jack? What's going on, Girl? What's going on, Eric? James Jones. What's going on, buddy? I get the title. It's a good job. Yo, just call me crazy. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? How's your daughter? How's the wife? How's everybody? Flim Flam is a cool name. Probably not. Actually, it's probably not, if you think about it. Nephis, what's going on, buddy? How's everybody doing? How's everybody's, Sunday? What's today, Sunday? Today's Sunday. Today's the 27th. Today is, in fact, Sunday. Sunday. What's up? Chillin'. Michael Jaduka, what's going on, buddy? We still allow James here? I guess. Pretty damn good. Good. I'm hanging out. You know what I'm saying? We're rocking up. Rocking out. We're chilling. Bing chilling is what we're doing, actually. What else we got going on? Oh, listen, guys. There's not many types of people I hate in this world, individually. But this entire family at the pizza place that I was at earlier, I hate. So the pizza place is like busy. It's like busy. It's busy. There's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of us around the front, around the windows, like around the glass, like picking up, like ordering pizza and shit. So, they come in. The dad was next to me. He was wearing Hugo Boss, just covered in Hugo Boss. A hoodie, pants, shoes, probably like $600 worth of clothes on him. Cool. His son's standing next to him. He's like 14. He's got a pair of Yeezys on. Some hat that was like purple that said it was probably like a fucking $150 hat. His wife next to him, just all bougied out, jewelry on, whatever. And then another son that they had that looked normal. That was just actually no, he was wearing a crossover pair of Nikes that were probably about $200 to $300 as well. Never mind, just a bougie family. So they come in, they're ordering food. It's loud. The kid's like, just double checking the order. And then the mom is like, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what. No, that's not what I want. I want, yes, no, like that, like one of those people. And then I'm just sitting there like lightly smirking, and I'm looking the dude up and down. I'm like checking out his outfit. I'm like, I'm talking about you later, motherfucker. You're working your way into my opening bit for sure. So I go and I'm talking, they're talking, and then the guy's like, he's like standing there like this. He looks. If I had to guess what he did, he looked like a chiropractor. Or like an orthopedist, or like an athletic trainer, so like something to do with like the body. I don't know. So he's just standing there. He's like, yep. He didn't even say anything really. He was just like, Then he whispered over to his wife, and she's all like loudmouth Italian, like disgusting, and she was kind of hot though. Whatever. And then they pay, and then she's like yelling across the pizzeria to her other son, like, come on, we're ordering, come here, come on. And I'm just like, lady, fucking kill yourself. And then, as I'm leaving, it's busy as fuck. Like, it's busy. See you later, James. It's busy. And, she just goes up in front of everybody to the guy behind the counter. She's like, can you have somebody come wipe down this table, please? It's just a little, And I'm walking past, and I couldn't help but laugh. I just chuckled as I was walking past her. I was like, lady, get a fucking napkin yourself and wipe the condensation off the fucking table, okay? It's not gonna kill you. Oh my god. That sound like New Yorkers to me? No, it's rich New York assholes. It's like you bought your son a $400 pair of shoes he's gonna grow out of in fucking 3 months. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Ew. Fuck Donald Trump. What's going on, buddy?
Fuck Donald Trump tipped $3.33. Daddy Keefe, pop a titty to show support for Ukraine.
Ukraine right here, baby. On my mother ruckin' chest. You understand me? A baby from your server? Yeah, I'll do it later. Do I support Russia? What the fuck? Do I look like I support Russia? Love matching those people's energies. I was just... And, like, I was so unapologetically staring at them, too. Like, I wasn't even trying to hide it. I was just staring at them. Like, I was standing there, right? I had my arms crossed. You know, I was in my hoodie. And I'm just looking at it. Like, he's literally, like if he would be, in the frame with me of how close this guy was at this point. And I'm just looking at him. Looking him up and down. I'm like, Hugo Boss. Fucking loser with hair gel. And like, listen, I'm sorry. If you're a fucking... late 30s, early 40-year-old dude, and you're still fucking putting hair gel in your hair, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, people don't care. Don't care. And, his wife was like 5'7", and I'm just staring at her. I'm just like, she's not really, like, causing a scene, but she's just being loud and annoying. And I'm just, like, looking at her. I'm like, shut up. Like, in my head, but I'm just like... Like, just looking at... Just staring at him. If they asked the U.S. to go to war to support the troops in the Ukraine, would I join? Would I join the military specifically to go fight for Ukraine? No. 3 out of 10 story? True. Thank you. Do Facebook Live? What, do Omegle on Facebook Live? That just sounds terrible. My grandpa's 85 and he puts gel in his hair. That's a weird guy. Putin's going to make his country starve financially. Yeah, it's already over for him. They just sanctioned him out of SWIFT today. I think is what I was reading. Or petitioning to, or there's a bunch of countries petitioning to. Your toe exploded. My brain exploded. 100 grand in my pocket when I want to set back in the day. It's empty. Other than that, I just have to tell you about that one annoying family. And then, in a completely unrelated note, when I was pulling out and I was at the light on the highway, I was at the stoplight, a Maybach pulled up next to me. So that's pretty cool, I guess. That's pretty tight. Can you explain SWIFT? I think SWIFT is the banking system that countries use to transfer money between countries. I think. Right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think SWIFT is the international banking system that countries use to transfer money. Oh, like it converts it? I think so. Yeah, I think it like transfers like euros to yen or like, you know, pesos to dollars. Something like that. So basically, long story short, if you could find a way to short the Russian dollar in the stock market, do it quick and fast. Or you kind of missed it actually. Cuz it's already over for that. What did Jack say? Most of the Russian troops didn't know they were going to war. They were told it was going to be a training exercise. Most training exercises aren't done with like live rounds. A lot of that shit went down like 40% overnight. If you shorted that, you're up. Yeah, I didn't know how, or wouldn't have known how. International Swift is a Belgian corporation society providing services related to the extension of financial transactions and payment between banks worldwide. Oh, so it's not countries only; it's all banks. Oh. Okay, did you see what happened to Green M&M? The company covered her sexy boots. What the fuck did you just say to me? What are you talking about? What is that? I spit my tongue. What does that even mean to me? Why are you relaying me this information? Have I ever expressed interest in feet or the green M&M? Listen, as long as they leave Miss Impossible alone, keep her donkey. Well, he's a dictator, Flim Flam. That's usually how that works. He's a piece of shit. 100 grand in my pocket. But you know what's crazy though? It's like, oh, this is happening, and I'm not glad that it's happening, but I'm so glad that I'm not hearing about COVID shit every 3 goddamn minutes. Like, we couldn't get away from the COVID shit. But now that we are, I'm just so relieved. And everything is opening back up, and fucking, even New York City is opening back up. You don't need vaccines anymore. So I can go into the city and stuff. Like, it's gonna be great. Just so happy. Just so happy. The famous mascot. She was a sexy M&M, but the company made her non-binary now and covered her legs in weird leg warmer things. Listen, New Beginnings. You can say whatever you want in my chat, but I'm just going to be forthcoming with you. I don't give a shit. I don't give 2 singular fucks or an asshole about that. CDC is easing their mask mandate recommendations. Shit's getting better with COVID, so let's fucking... So less fucks given now. Yeah, yep. Okay, fair. No, I'm just saying, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Now, if you told me that they were making non-binary World of Warcraft characters and switching all the girl and the guy characters into singular look-alike characters in the game, then I'd be fucking angry. You understand me? When did, because I'm supposed to be going to a party this weekend, so when is New York vaccine mandate dropping? I think it was the 7th. Mayor Eric Adams says he hopes to remove the city's proof of vaccine requirements and indoor mask rules for schools. Wait, for schools? Only for schools?
Pandemic, a major turning point. New York State drops the mask mandate for kids in schools, and New York City is set to drop its indoor vaccine mandate too. Thank you for joining us on a very busy evening. I'm Gilma Avalos, and tonight marks a pivotal moment 2 years into the coronavirus pandemic. The mandates that help slow the spread are coming to an end in New York. New York Governor Kathy Hochul ending the mask mandate in schools. Your kids could shed the masks as early as this week. And moments after the governor broke that news, Mayor Eric Adams said that he would end the city's indoor vaccine mandate on March 7th, barring any rise in cases. And it comes more than 5 months after Key to NYC took effect, requiring people to show proof of vaccination to enter restaurants, gyms, museums, and much more. And the change, a result of the dramatic drop in COVID cases since the Omicron spike hit. The governor says cases are down nearly 98% from the peak. The positive test rate today stands below 2%. And News 4's Adam Harding is live in Chelsea with the breaking developments to explain it all. Adam?
And Gilma, so many fast-moving developments late tonight. First, let's start with the schools. We're here at PS 111. The governor announcing that the statewide mask requirements for students in schools would be expiring on this coming Wednesday. As for how the city would respond, late tonight, the mayor says they will review the numbers again at the end of next week. So a week from Monday, on March 7th, that is when the mask mandate for students could be lifted. Reaction tonight is split in the city.
My friends, the day has come. Today we are going to be announcing that we'll be lifting the statewide mask requirement in schools, and that'll be effective this Wednesday, March 2nd.
The governor Sunday with the update many parents have been waiting for. But the idea of removing masks in schools, it is no slam dunk. In fact, it is still a long shot for some students who by now are used to wearing them.
If they lift it in the next couple of days, like the governor's talking about statewide, the mask rules at schools are going to be gone. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that some people would prefer to take off the mask and some people won't.
If they were to say to you, okay, you don't have to do it anymore, what do you think about that?
I would think, well, COVID is really serious still right now. If it was optional, I mean, that'd be great too, because other people might actually think, like, this is really serious.
The governor says the decision comes after a 98% decline in COVID cases since Omicron's peak. The New York State United Teachers president says we welcome this step toward normalcy. The governor is striking the right balance by empowering local officials to use data to determine if and when the mitigation strategies need to change in their areas. As the guidance changes, one thing must remain constant. It is essential that districts work closely with educators to ensure there is confidence in their health and safety plans. Mayor Adams, meantime, says the city will evaluate the numbers Friday, and if there are no unforeseen
Mayor Eric Adams is a black guy? I didn't know that.
The mandate could be lifted starting next Monday.
Do you feel sending them to school, no mask, that would be okay?
Yeah. At this point, I think they'll be fine.
Good dad.
So, Gilma, after the mayor made that announcement about the city's decision when it comes to masks and students in schools, again, that could be on Monday, March 7th, he also made another major announcement on that same day, so a week from tomorrow. Pending the numbers, yet again, the city could also plan to reduce the key to NYC requirements. That would mean things like having to show proof of vaccine to go to a restaurant or certain businesses. Gilma, in a matter of days, that could soon be a thing of the past. So much fast-breaking developments tonight. Let's
go to New York. Shout out New York. But yeah, Eric Adams. You hear the name Eric Adams, do you think fucking bald black guy? I don't. Yeah, McFarland, John Queese, what's going on, buddy? Yo, Flim Flam. You are a very... You're what we call a up-and-comer Republican, right? You got the right ideas, but you're still a fucking idiot. Does that make sense? Right? So do you know how, like, masks work? You know that, like, mask, there's like a, like, here, let me show you something. This is for all of you guys that don't know how masks work. So you know that there's, like, a filter, right? On the mask? Are you sure you know how they work? Because I don't think you do. Because there's like a filter, right? So, like, air still travels through. You know what I mean? And, like, smoke will still travel through. But there's a filter. What percentage of people do you think actually use a mask properly? Well, there's two ways to use a mask. If you're sick, so on the one side there's a filter. So if you're not sick, you have the filter on the outside for the air that you breathe in. And if you are sick, you're supposed to turn it on the inside out for the filter on the inside to cover your mouth when you breathe out. Think about it. Not even think about it. What am I talking about? Think about it. That is how they work. Hey, if the masks they make don't work, well then that's buy the right mask. LOL, Keith is trolling? No, I'm not. I'm literally not trolling. Congrats, Keith, on making it into a Gatto video. I'm in all of her videos whenever I talk to her. I'm in like 4 of her videos. She made another one though.
Are you stupid?
A little bit, yeah.
Her newest one? I watched part of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. Or are you talking about the one before this? Yeah, no, I'm not in that one. Or the one before that. Mayor did absolutely nothing to stop the spread. Wrong. No, I'm not in her newest one. I was in the old one that we watched already, when she dressed up like a dude. I should try bomb fetish. Shoving it up your booty cheeks while it explodes is amazing. You should try bomb fetish? What are we talking about? What bomb? I didn't watch the new one yet? Yeah, me neither. I can't look at her. I get too bricked. I be getting hella bricked. Like chimney bricked, you know what I'm saying? Well, why did Florida have lower cases than New York City with no mask mandate? What's it called? Herd immunity. Herd immunity. There's also less people cluttered in areas, unlike New York City. You know what herd immunity is, right? Listen, I had COVID. I probably had COVID 3 times. One time where I actually got sick, and then 2 other times where I came in contact where I felt like shit, but not like sick. Okay, Complex, what's going on, buddy? I guess I used to masks that I just wear mine anyway. Doesn't make a difference either way. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Survival of the fittest. They should have just let everybody get COVID, and if you died, you died. I haven't worn a mask in over a year, never got COVID. Like, look what happened with the swine flu. 60 million people got the swine flu. People learn how to wash their hands again. True. My hands are very clean. I was never near COVID. Yeah, I was. I was near COVID plenty of times. There's 2 different times where I went to see my kids, and then like 2 or 3 days after I left them, they had a positive COVID test. You sick? Any kind of bomb that explodes, weak explosion or strong, doesn't matter. Fireworks work too. The sensation of it exploding gets people going. Just shut up. Just shut up. No, I'm not vaccinated. What the hell? I'm not vaccinated at all. No, I'll never get vaccinated. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm not gonna get it. Not gonna be me. Not gonna be Keith. I wear my mask to cover my Okay. Shut up. Yo, Kieran, what's going on, buddy? Love you too, man. Thanks for being here. Like you said, you died. Yeah, you died. I got stuck in Cancun for a couple weeks longer. When swine flu started, was the best worst case scenario ever. All included resort for a month. Hell yeah. Me neither. Yeah, me neither. Would I disown you as a fan if you got a Baby Yoda tattoo? No, I have a World of Warcraft tattoo. I don't give a shit what you do with yourself. I don't give two shits or a fuck what you do, buddy. Yeah, I got a World of Warcraft tattoo. I basically lost 20 grand this year. Did you lose it or did you spend it? You seen what Putin said about the nuke deterrence? Yeah, I saw like he put his nuke deterrence on standby or like at the ready. I think that's just because he's scared that other countries are going to get involved. $20K worth of $2 donations. True. How's my mom? Oh, how's my months going? Or my mom? My mom's fine. He's not going to launch any nukes. If he launches any nukes, they'll just get shot shot out of midair above his own country. Yo, Ant2Troll, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I'm not worried about nuclear warfare. You guys shouldn't be either. Hello, Paul. He said we were being aggressive. Oh, America was being aggressive? Probably. I have to. I do stock. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? China? No, we're talking about Russia. People making Hitler memes on Putin? They're not even close. There's no historic connection. Oh, you're from Russia? Oh, yeah? Even Russia's own allies said they weren't going to help Russia. If Russia sends nukes, they're hitting New York first? Probably. Oh, is that a bad thing, Hugo? Is that a bad thing? You gotta be prepared for war with China? China. Here's why it wouldn't matter if we went to war with China. You wanna know why? Because we'd fucking push their shit in. You understand me? China is on the edge of a continent, right? They're just chilling. Their whole coast is exposed. America has two sides, and it's way bigger than China. I'm not worried about it. I just seen a deck of Pokemon cards on the ground. Go pick them up. Wait, but I thought it was just the deterrence system. Like a defense thing in case he thought that we were going to attack him. See, but would it be a bad thing if America sent some Navy SEALs in there to take out Putin? What do we think? Would that be a bad thing? If we sent the SEALs in? I can't even see what Flim Flam's typing. I feel for the people forced to stay and fight. It's messed up. Well, nobody's forced to stay and fight. But, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, just go take Putin out. That's it. Go ahead. Bye. See you later. Take out Putin. That's it. Search up Russians on Ukraine Tinder. Russians on Ukraine Tinder. What even was that?
This is really a pattern that we've seen from President Putin.
Smile even though you're sad. Do I look lonely?
Through the course of this conflict, which is manufacturing threats that don't exist in order to justify further aggression. And the global community and the American people should look at it through that prism. We've seen him do this time and time again. At no point has Russia been under threat from NATO, has Russia been under threat from Ukraine. This is all a pattern from President Putin, and we're going to stand up for it. We have the ability to defend ourselves, but we also need to call out what we're seeing here from President Putin.
This is dangerous rhetoric. This is a behavior which is irresponsible. And of course, if you combine this rhetoric with what they are doing on the ground in Ukraine, waging war against the independent sovereign nation, conducting full-fledged invasion of Ukraine. This adds to the seriousness of the situation.
I'm not surprised at this information because Putin has.
Would I fight if the U.S. went to war? Like, if we got invaded as a country? Yeah, absolutely. I said it many times again. My window right here has a clear, like, I can't show you guys, but I'll go look and explain it. So, I could look out my window, right? It's a perfect sniper's nest because there's trees that cover like this in front of my window, but there's an area, so it's like two trees that go up and like curve into each other. But there's a clear passageway that I could look out, and it goes about a half a mile down my street. So I could literally, right? Because the way that, here, let me show you guys. Oh wait, no, that's, am I going to be able to show you? I don't think I can. No, I'm not going to be able to show you. But the way that my window's open, right, there's like clips on the top, and I could fold it out. And then it's like, it has like these things that like connect to, but like it opens the window, and I could poach a fucking sniper rifle up on it, and I could literally sit there with the scope going down my street. So, on both sides of my house, actually. So, like, I'm with it, you know what I'm saying? Can't be a sniper with a slingshot. Oh no, I have access to rifles. Don't worry.
I tried every.
I'll literally get my war on. Get some. Yeah, absolutely.
Possible to actually put fear in the world in terms of his action, and it just means that we have to ramp up our efforts here at the United Nations. And
таким образом согласился бы с предложением Николая Платоновича о том, что нашим, так сказать, западным партнерам можно дать последний шанс с тем, чтобы предложить им в кратчайшие сроки заставить Киев пойти на мир и выполнить Минские соглашения. В противном случае мы должны принять то решение, о котором сегодня говорится.
Значит, в противном случае вы предлагаете начать переговорный процесс?
Нет, я...
Или признавать суверенитет их?
А я
говорите прямо.
Я поддержу предложение о признании...
Поддержу или поддерживаю? Говорите прямо, Сергей.
Поддерживаю предложение...
Так и скажите, да или нет.
Поддерживаю предложение о вхождении Донецкой и Луганской народных республик в состав Российской Федерации.
Да, мы об этом не говорим, мы этого не обсуждаем. Мы говорим о признании их независимости или нет.
Да, я поддерживаю предложение о признании независимости.
Хорошо, пожалуйста, садитесь. Спасибо. Владимир Александрович.
Well, let's get straight to it. Let's bring in the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining Fox and Friends Weekend.
Well, thank you. It's an honor. And we have a lot of problems in this country, but it's an honor to be with you.
Well, we're grateful to have you, sir. Well, let's start with the headline we've had all morning long. You know, what's happening in Russia, what's happening in Ukraine. The White House right now is saying an attack could happen at any time.
Merked.
I'll be donating if you're broke. I'll check it out in a sec.
Where are we, and how did we get here?
Well, first of all, it's shocking because this should have never happened. It should have never happened. It would not have happened. And how we got here is when they watched Afghanistan and they watched the most incompetent withdrawal in the history of probably any army, let alone just us. They saw that, and President Xi and President Putin, watch what happens with China very soon, but with Taiwan. But they watched that and they said, what's going on? They don't know what they're doing. And all of a sudden, I think they got a lot more ambitious. I think Putin really wanted to negotiate for a period of time. I think when he watched Afghanistan, when he watched that unbelievably bad withdrawal, incompetent, where they took the military out first, where they left $85 billion worth of equipment behind for the Taliban to have and to sell and to use. And, of course, the death that happened. When they watched all of that, I think they got emboldened.
Well, would you believe it? Dear old Chuck Todd got right to the heart of this issue this morning when he asked Secretary of State Antony Blinken this about Russia and Ukraine.
Let me ask this question. In your assessment, why did Putin...
Why is Twitter wanting to abolish NATO? If I had to guess, it's probably because NATO involves other countries in other people's wars and battles. It's basically performing as it's intended to. It's supposed to be a world defense association, basically. So, like, people on Twitter I just want to drink my Tai Chi and my boba and complain about how I wish I had a penis. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean, or no?
Why is he escalating with Ukraine now? Why didn't he do this under the previous administration, who wasn't as supportive of NATO?
Let's think. Perhaps because in the real world, not the fake PR-driven world of Washington pundits and most Democrat politicians and it seems all the senior members of the Biden regime, in the real world, what you do is more important than what you say. What the previous administration, President Trump, did is send arms to Ukraine, reversing the Obama-Biden position. What Trump did is actually strengthen NATO by shaming them into spending more on defense. And most importantly of all, given that Russia is, as someone once observed, basically a gas station with nuclear weapons, President Trump massively increased our leverage against Russia by expanding our domestic energy production and making us a net exporter for the first time in nearly 70 years. On top of that, Trump put sanctions on the pipeline that was a lifeline for Russia's economy, Germany's Nord Stream 2. In a word, Trump projected strength. Putin took note. He didn't try anything on when Trump was there. Neither did China's dictator, Xi, or Iran, or little rocket man. Now let's look at what Biden has projected. On the actual substance, actions, not words, it's been a slow-motion surrender to Vladimir Putin. On his first day, Biden attacked our energy industry by canceling the Keystone pipeline. Within weeks, he lifted Trump's sanctions on Putin's pipeline. Ever since taking office, Biden has waged war on American energy to pander to his extremist climate zealots, even though Trump's expansion of natural gas helped reduce our carbon emissions. Even more ludicrously, by cutting domestic energy, Biden had to beg OPEC to pump more oil. Now, Biden's talking tough on Putin.
We're ready to impose severe sanctions on Russia if it further invades Ukraine.
Mr. White tipped $2. Check out some of these videos on this channel.
I'm offering 10,000.
How many blunts do you?
I'm offering 10,000. I'm offering 10.
How many blunts?
I'm offering 10,000 bitcoins in exchange for some pizza. And somebody there said, hey, I'll take you up on that offer. So I sent him the 10,000 Bitcoin. I said, okay, here it is. I'm waiting for my pizza. And, he phoned it in. He paid with his credit card, and the pizza showed up at my door. Here you can see the original pizzas, and that's my daughter's hand. She was a year old.
Wow. So you paid 10,000 Bitcoins for one pizza?
It was two pizzas, actually.
Oh, you got two pizzas out of it.
And, maybe the person spent $30, $40, something like that.
What would it be worth today?
$80 million, I don't know.
$80 million.
Oh, severe sanctions. Can someone please tell his own administration? Because the day before Biden said that, his own energy regulators were imposing severe sanctions on us. A massive new clampdown on liquefied natural gas pipelines and export terminals. We have huge amounts of natural gas sitting underground in Appalachia that we could export to Europe so they don't have to rely on Putin's gas. And Biden just blocked it. You think Putin didn't notice? It's not just on energy. The same day as Biden was threatening severe sanctions on Russia, his own deputy national security advisor was asked if that would include kicking Russia out of the international financial transaction system, SWIFT. Here's what he said.
It's probably not going to be the case that you'll see SWIFT in the initial rollout package. We have other severe measures we can take that our allies and partners are ready to take in lockstep with us and that don't have the same spillover effects.
Spillover effects, yeah, that's economics jargon for things that have unintended consequences elsewhere. So what message does that send to Putin? We'll shut you out of the world economy, except we won't because that might hurt us. The Biden people are patting themselves on the back for their brilliant new strategy of trying to beat Putin at his own game of information warfare by disclosing his moves in advance. Because today's Democrats treat everything as PR, because for them virtue signaling is more important than reality, they seem to think that they can somehow beat Putin with media relations, head fake him into backing down. These people are just not serious. The great geniuses of governance and foreign policy, Jake Sullivan, Ron Klain, Biden himself with all his years of experience, yeah, years of being wrong, as Bob Gates memorably put it. He has been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades. And Bob Gates worked alongside Biden in Obama's cabinet. Putin can smell Biden's weakness a mile off. Biden claims he's rallied the allies, so they're all going to stand up to Putin. Oh, really? Guess what the Germans pledged to help defend Ukraine? 5,000 helmets. Not helmets, not 5,000 German troops, 5,000 helmets. 2 weeks ago, finally understanding the strategic importance of the Nord Stream pipeline, Biden hosted German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in the White House and bragged about persuading the Germans to shut Nord Stream down if Putin made a move.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it. The notion that Nord Stream 2 would go forward with an invasion by the Russians is just not going to happen.
Oh, he's really struggling there. But at that exact same press conference, standing next to Biden, Scholz refused to even say the words Nord Stream. He was asked directly, repeatedly, and he wouldn't say it. Great job there, Joe, rallying the allies. And by the way, let's just recall that a certain president raised the Nord Stream issue years ago.
So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean, I've been complaining about this from the time I got in. It should have never been allowed to have happened.
Exactly. Now, Biden and all the establishment geniuses want to shut down Nord Stream, they say. But when Trump said it, it was all, oh my God, how embarrassing, how undiplomatic, what a joke they all are. Putin can see they're a joke. He can see how Biden has made America weaker. Not just the self-sabotage on energy, but weakening our defenses, cutting our military, the humiliating surrender to the Taliban, and our catastrophic bungled exit from Afghanistan. None of this helps America. It hurts America. And here's what else hurts America. The idea that random dictators can just invade countries on a whim, or to seize resources, or because of some twisted historical obsession, as we're seeing with Putin in Ukraine and Xi Jinping with Taiwan. That is not a world we should live in. It does matter that countries play by the rules of civilized society. People look to America to uphold the values of freedom and opportunity and self-determination. That's why so many people admire and love America. And as a new citizen, I can testify to that personally. As you know, my parents fled from communism in Hungary, but most of the family stayed behind. When I was a kid, I heard this phrase all the time to describe a horde of people. Jönnek mintas. It means they're coming like the Russians. And in 1956, the Russians did come, crushing the People's Revolution in Hungary. The West did nothing, and my family, along with millions of other Hungarians, suffered another 30-odd years of communism. I'm not saying we should go and get bogged down in yet another war. Of course not. But the choice is not between sending Americans to die in some distant land, while our own land is under threat, moreover, and doing nothing. There's another way, a better way, and guess who figured it out? Yes, the person that the foreign policy geniuses who got us into the endless wars dismiss as an incompetent maniac. Trump was the first president in decades not to get America involved in a new war. Like Reagan, he understood the idea of peace through strength. And like Reagan, he understood that a strong country, a strong military, is built on a strong economy. Watch this from a conversation I had with President Trump in 2019.
I want to invade if I have to economically. We've created a much stronger country economically than when I took it over. We have tremendous power economically. If I can solve things economically, that's the way I want it.
America first does not mean America alone, and it does not mean America stays at home. It means America leads. Economically, scientifically, militarily, America first, America number one, America leads. When you have a strong president who gets this and projects this, they don't need to engage in ludicrous PR games and information warfare. Again, watch President Trump respond when I asked him on another occasion about Xi Jinping and Taiwan. If China, and it looks like they're getting more and more belligerent, tries to either invade Taiwan or effectively take control of it and its important industries, would you let them get away with that?
I think it's an inappropriate place to talk about it. But China knows what I'm going to do. China knows.
Xi Jinping knew that Trump wouldn't stand for any aggression. Putin knew that Trump wouldn't stand for any aggression. Iran, North Korea, they all knew. And the world was safer, America was safer as a result. Sadly, that is not the situation we face today. Today we have a president who is undermining all of America's advantages because he's too weak, too feeble to stand up to the far-left activists who now run his party. As a result, instead of peace through strength, we could be facing war through weakness. Tell us what you think at Steve Hilton X and at Next.
Man's not wrong.
Please share this message when we post it.
Man's not wrong. The man's not wrong.
The United Nations Security Council voted today to hold an emergency session on Russia's invasion of Ukraine tomorrow.
Do you think Trump will become president again? Absolutely.
This comes amid growing tensions between Russia and the West.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
I'm Jackie Bang.
And I'm Tamon Bradley. Thanks for joining us. McGee Hickey is in New York with our top story.
McGee Hickey? It's going to be my porn name. McGee Hickey.
It's the biggest war in Europe since 1945, and that is why the UN met at 3 p.m. Sunday to call for an emergency special session of the General Assembly. In an escalation of East-West tensions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian nuclear forces put on high alert Sunday because of what Putin called aggressive statements by leading NATO powers. The U.S. ambassador to the UN was not surprised.
It means that President Putin is continuing to escalate this war in a manner that is totally unacceptable, and we have to continue to condemn his actions in the most strongest possible way. We have to ramp up our efforts here at the United Nations and elsewhere to hold him accountable.
Amid these growing tensions, Ukraine announced that a delegation from the country has agreed to meet with Russian officials for talks. This latest development coming as scattered fighting was reported in Kyiv, with battles breaking out also in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, and in strategic ports.
This is a behavior which is irresponsible, and of course if you combine this rhetoric with what they're doing on the ground in Ukraine, waging war against the independent sovereign nation, conducting full-fledged invasion of Ukraine, this adds to the seriousness of the situation.
The European Union said it would finance the purchase and delivery of weapons to Ukraine and close EU airspace to Russian aircraft, in essence practically banning Russia from the European skies. But some are saying the sanctions must go further.
We ought to be sanctioning not just Putin, not just Lavrov, not just the oligarchs, but all of their families. This behavior, this aggression against Ukraine is something that the world simply cannot tolerate.
Our thanks to McGee Hickey reporting. The mayor of Kyiv says 9 civilians have been killed in the attacks on the capital city. But Vitaly Klitschko says the residents are holding strong, and he is hopeful they can keep up the fight as Russian troops continue to move closer to the city.
To be honest, we doesn't have 100% control, but because we build this territorial defense in very short period of time, but it's patriotic. These people is patriotic. Everybody feeling not so well. We impressed, but not depressed.
Klitschko also.
Footage of an aligned Ukraine drone destroyed a Russian convoy is leaked. Oh wow. The way to pronounce it, the Ukrainian pronunciation now? What do you mean? Of Kyiv. Oh.
Щось вони... Це він тікає, походу, цього бука, я так думаю. Чи ні? В сторону.
А може щось упало і пішов подивитися, що? Бігає туди-сюди.
Нарешті. Зараз там салют. Ох, як все порозлітало гарно. Слухай, ну...
No, Vin is very much so a Republican.
«27 февраля. 7 утра. Даже 8. Ну и что хотите сказать, ребятки? Ребята думают, куда ехать. Еще раз поворачивают у нас. Они, видно, осматривают район. Сидит сверху на поле. А, сверху вот на каждой машине по 2 человека. Па-па-па-па. Па-па-па. Суки, а? За что? За что? Пошли, пошли.
Где-то 50 секунд или минута максимум.
Він вже запустив чи ні?
Да, сошла уже, да.
Ну, маленько.
Розмотають там чи що? Не томі.
Давай. Бачили? Чудово. Там что-то все лежат вокруг. Да, всі полягали вон.
Надо было помочь.
Поехали. Кто, какая часть, зачем пришел?
Домой после этого мира. I don't speak Russian.
Блять. Оце їхні підарас.
This is China, though.
请问我这个犯法吗？
Спалена техніка росіян. Кацапи засіли в школі.
We are hearing reports of new attacks across Ukraine, including in the capital city at this hour. We'll, of course, be monitoring those and tell you when we learn more. But first, on last night's show, we tried to bring you as straightforward an analysis as we could of the invasion of Ukraine. It was then in progress. It still is. The war at that point was less than 24 hours old, and it seemed disrespectful and wrong to use the deaths of people on the ground as a partisan cudgel. War is horrifying, of course, but it's also a grave and profound thing. You ought to stand back in awe for a moment before you start drawing convenient conclusions from the suffering you see. Death is a mystery. Acknowledge that. That's how we feel. Joe Biden's allies in the media do not feel that way. They use the opportunity to attack their political opponents immediately, as they always do. They have no restraint and no shame. We're grateful not to be them. So that was last night. Tonight, it's fair to note the obvious. The invasion of Ukraine is a humiliating defeat for Joe Biden. He's our leader. He staked this country's reputation, billions of dollars, and the full force of the U.S. government on preventing Vladimir Putin from invading Ukraine. Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine anyway. And America is diminished by that. It's not the first time Joe Biden has done something like this. Less than 6 months ago, Biden oversaw an almost indescribably chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. He left American citizens behind. He armed the Taliban with advanced weapons systems on the way out. It could not have been worse. So here you have two historic foreign policy debacles in under a year. Is there a precedent for that? What's the message of it? Well, weakness, obviously. Republicans often say that, but as usual, don't go far enough. Weakness? Well, North Korea is weak. They literally have famines. People starve to death in North Korea. That's weakness. But they're still a nation we have to contend with because they bite. A venomous spider is weak. You can crush it, but you're still afraid of it because it bites. We do not bite, and that's the problem. We're not simply weak. The United States government under Joe Biden is ridiculous. It's pompous, it's self-involved, it's long-winded.
What do I think of all of it?
It's
Oh,
not
I don't
different
know,
from
man.
the fading old man who leads it. There's no hiding this. The rest of the world
I don't
sees
know.
it clearly. So do many Americans. If watching the invasion of Ukraine this week made you feel a little sick, this is probably why. Of course, you felt sorry for the Ukrainians being killed, but you also sense that this was a genuine disaster for us in America. And you're right, it is. Joe Biden is quickly draining the reservoir of America's credibility and power that has accumulated over centuries of wise decision-making. Like the U.S. Treasury, this is not Joe Biden's capital to spend. he is squandering something that others made. How much is left at this point? You hate even to think about it. Someday we're going to find out. So the problem here isn't complicated. Joe Biden broke the oldest rule of all. Don't make threats you can't back up. You'd think he'd know that if he'd actually squared off against Corn Pop at the public swimming pool in Wilmington 60 years ago. But he never did. So he doesn't know that if you say something serious, you had better mean it. It is reckless to tell obvious lies. If you do that, before long, and it happens very quickly, in fact, people figure out that you can be ignored. You're not a superpower, you're a joke. And that's why you never, under any circumstances, say anything like this.
The purpose of the sanctions has always been and continues to be deterrence. But let's also recognize the unique nature of the sanctions that we have outlined. These are some of the greatest sanctions, if not the strongest, that we've ever issued.
The president believes that sanctions are intended to deter.
As to the sanctions, the most important thing we can do is to use them as a deterrent, as a means of dissuading Russia from engaging in further aggression.
Now, if you saw the dates, you notice those clips are from recently, in some cases just days before Vladimir Putin showed precisely how meaningless our sanctions actually were. The greatest sanctions ever, said Kamala Harris, wearing her stupid little mask on Monday. She's a buffoon. You knew that. Now it's obvious that her buffoonery is a real peril for the rest of us. No one in the White House seems to understand this. It's life's most obvious lesson. So here is Joe Biden from today telling you that actually these sanctions, the greatest, most deterrent sanctions ever,
come to America,
were never intended really to deter anything. Sorry if you took us seriously the first time. We didn't really mean it.
No one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening. It has to show, this is going to take time, and we have to show resolve so he knows what's coming. And so the people of Russia know what he's brought on them. That's what this is all about.
Who gives him these scripts? Do they not think we have access to YouTube? Or maybe they're just hoping Google will scrub it by the time he holds another press conference. You just told us on Monday that the purpose of these sanctions was to deter the invasion of Ukraine. So at the very least, acknowledge they didn't work as intended. They can never acknowledge that. Oh, the vaccine prevents transmission and infection. Just tell the truth. People will understand, but they lie every time. Now they're telling us, Putin knows what's coming. We'll get him next time. Right. No one believes you anymore, Joe Biden. No one should believe you. It is very hard to take unserious people seriously. A serious president who cared would have reassessed everything, America's foreign policy and how it's administered, after the Afghanistan withdrawal last August. That was a disaster. So a responsible person would have asked himself, how do we prevent this from happening again? That's how responsible people think. It's how leaders who care about their countries think. Of course, it's the baseline requirement for leadership. This was a disaster. How do we prevent it from happening again? That's not hard. But lifetime federal employee that he is, Joe Biden did the opposite of that. His first instinct was to protect the bureaucracy, not the country, the bureaucracy. So not a single person from the Pentagon or the State Department was fired or even reprimanded. In fact, famously, the only person who was punished in the end for that historic debacle was a Marine colonel who complained about it. He went to jail for complaining. And you will see the same response this time after the disastrous invasion of Ukraine. The American officials who so publicly trashed this country's credibility will be promoted for it. They always are. Toria Nuland is one of the geniuses behind the Iraq War that was almost 20 years ago. Did that hurt her career? It should have. It should have ended her career in place right then. Go do something useful. Learn how to lay tile. But it didn't end her career. In fact, her career accelerated. In fact, this same person, Toria Nuland, went on to help lead the Ukraine debacle we're watching now. She's completely unqualified for the job she has. We knew that 20 years ago. And yet she's highly successful in Washington. Someday she'll probably be the Secretary of State. Remember her name, Toria Nuland. She'll be rewarded for failing. Meanwhile, people who criticize Toria Nuland or who care enough about this country to critique Joe Biden's foreign policy disasters find themselves denounced in the media as, of all things, traitors to America, and then spied on by the NSA. You see how that works? It's all self-protection, and because it is, only buffoonery is rewarded. And that's exactly why John Kerry is still around. Here's John Kerry telling the BBC in public on camera that the real victim of this war is something called the climate.
Massive emissions consequences to the war, but equally importantly, you're going to lose people's focus. You're going to lose certainly big country attention because they will be diverted, and I think it could have a damaging impact. So I hope President Putin will help us to stay on track with respect to what we need to do for the climate.
And of course, he flew private to that interview, hoping nobody noticed, not caring if anyone noticed. Like, what's the explanation behind? How could you say something like that? That clip is real. We didn't make it up. It's hard to believe it, but it is real. It's all real. If you did a nationwide search for the people least capable of leading a large nation through complicated times, you would get our leadership class. You would get John Kerry. Oh, we found him. The search is over. And of course, at the very top of that list would be John Kerry's friend, Hillary Clinton. So here's Hillary Clinton revealing the real story. She's telling you that the actual enemy in this war is not in Russia, not in eastern Ukraine, it's not Vladimir Putin, it's you. The real enemy of this country is anyone who dares to criticize the mismanagement of Hillary Clinton and her friends. Watch.
I think it's time for what's left of the Republican Party that has any common sense, not just to say, okay, go help defend Ukraine against Putin, but to stand against those people in politics and government, in the media and elsewhere in our own country who are literally giving aid and comfort to an enemy of freedom and democracy. It can't continue because it plays right into the ambitions of not just Putin, but also President Xi of China to undermine democracy, to literally divide and conquer the West without ever invading us, but by setting us against each other.
Your opinions are the real threat to democracy. Dare criticize us, and we will denounce you as a dangerous traitor, because that's democracy. So Vladimir Putin invades Ukraine, but guess whose fault it is? It's your fault. Notice the theme here? It's always your fault. Every single time.
I'm awake.
And they're going to punish you for it.
I didn't fall asleep.
Hillary did say one interesting thing in that clip, probably inadvertently. She didn't say it, but the illusion was there. Russia and China are now aligned as a bloc against the United States. Now, how'd that happen? It's pretty obvious. You're looking around the world, you're thinking, who are the big powers with meaningful economies and nuclear weapons? Maybe they shouldn't be aligned against us. That's just the simplest kind of math. Maybe we shouldn't do anything that pushes our enemies into a bloc, because that threatens us. But they don't know that that's happening, or maybe they're in favor of it. God knows what the Biden administration is thinking. According to the New York Times, quote, the United States met with China over 3 months to present intelligence showing Russia's troop buildup near Ukraine and to urge Beijing to help avert war. Chinese officials rebuffed the United States and then shared that information with Moscow. Yeah. So we went to China for help to prevent Putin from invading Ukraine at the very moment that Russia and China were forming a very public alliance against us. Did that really happen? Apparently it really did happen. How long can this go on? And maybe that's why Biden didn't mention China during his press conference. He gave them our intelligence, and they gave it to Putin. Perfect. But don't mention that, or you're a traitor.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most...
They are pursuing their higher studies there, and as soon as the war broke out, they virtually have been left high and dry. But the Indian government has been working overtime. It's been pulling its diplomatic levers to try and ensure that all of these Indian students are safe and they are brought back home safe. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has been very busy. The Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla was also a part of this crucial meeting. The evacuation process has been severely affected after Ukraine closed its airspace following the Russian invasion on Thursday. Now remember, students have been evacuated on these special flights after these students had to cross over the border from Ukraine into other neighboring nations such as Poland, Hungary and Slovakia and Romania. Now, these are the countries that share the borders with Ukraine, and the students have had to move internally within Ukraine from different parts of Ukraine onto the western borders to cross over into these other nations. Thousands of them have also taken shelter in these bordering countries since the Russian attack.
Somebody in the comments on this video, because it's a live stream, said, Putin once kicked a horse in the chin. Its descendants are now known as giraffes.
An immediate cessation of hostilities to prevent a...
That's funny. That's funny.
Political correspondent Melinda Crane is with me now to debrief, dare I say it, a very emotional speech by the German Chancellor. Germany's resoluteness is manifest in the numbers. It bears repeating. €100 billion fund to upgrade the armed forces, more than 2% of the GDP every year for defense. U.S. administrations, as you well know, have been pushing the Germans to make this move for years. Was it pressure from the outside that turned the Germans around?
So the Germans gave Ukraine $100 million?
Down here?
No. And he said that very explicitly in
What's
the
going on,
speech.
Jason?
Actually, it was quite interesting that he said it's not because the Allies have been pressing us to do this, but because we absolutely are intent upon defending German values, on democratic values, and that this is about being a vigilant democracy. And there's actually a famous essay by one of Germany's great philosophers, Karl Popper, that talks about the vigilant democracy and the fact that democracy only works when citizens stand up for it. And he was making it very clear that that is how he sees these, as you say, drastic departures in what we have known before.
No, I don't think I've ever
Germany
seen it.
long ago signed up to this commitment to do 2% of GDP as for its...
This is the story of Elizabeth Holmes.
You got intrigue, deceit, fantasy. It's all there.
Can't peel your eyes away.
Any comments, Elizabeth?
Any comments, Elizabeth? God bless you, girl boss.
The new man in her life, the new baby, and
that we've seen, and just the amazing amounts of goodwill. It's incredible.
As night has now fallen in Ukraine, what we're going to see during the course of tonight are the main elements of the Russian forces appearing and getting ready for battle in Kiev. And what we've seen so far are light forces with some missiles and aircraft in support, and what's arriving this evening are the tanks, the heavy artillery, and the infantry in their armoured vehicles. So we need to have a look at what the battle for Kiev really means. And on this next map, we begin to see a city 3 times the size of Manchester, home to more than 2.8 million people, which is about to be the subject of a major battle. The Russians will hope very much that they can get their tanks to the presidential palace probably during the course of tomorrow. And the dilemma for the attackers is that if they do this, they are going to have to face stiff Ukrainian military opposition, and the more opposition they face, the more they're going to have to destroy this city and kill civilians in order to make their way into the center. The dilemma for the defenders is the reverse, in that if they try and hold the Russians on the outskirts, they'll become a much easier target for Russian artillery and air attack, and are likely to be destroyed quickly and in a more devastating way. If they allow the Russians to penetrate into the city, they'll have to give ground, they'll feel they're surrendering their city, but they will weaken the Russian ability to use their artillery, tanks and air power, and they'll increase the chances for defeating the Russians piecemeal with 1,000 attacks at any one time from a highly mobilized citizenry. This city is like any modern European city. It has wonderful buildings, high-density population areas, thoroughfares, narrow streets. There is no way you can conduct a battle for Ukraine and seize the capital, Kiev, without major destruction. And that's the dilemma that we're all facing tonight. But there's more than that. If we go back to a map, we need to understand that the Russians are now at the end of lines of communication back to their sources of supply in Belarus and Russia that are between 150 and 200 miles long. That means that for these length of those roads, Russian trucks are moving fuel, ammunition, spare parts, and food into the battle zone, and that presents a very rich array of targets for the Ukrainian opposition. So the Russians have now not just got to fight for Kiev, they've got to secure these very long lines of communication. The third issue is the battle for the east, which is quite different. And on this next map, you can see that what we're beginning to understand is President Putin's ambition to carve out territory that would connect Russia through Ukraine to the Black Sea. And maybe he is considering annexing that. Now, the challenge is he probably felt that many of the people in this area were Russian-speaking and would welcome a Russian intervention. As we've seen during the course of the day, that is not the case. But the issue that's coming up over the next few days is how much of this area of eastern Ukraine is effectively annexed by Russia. And the fourth thing we need to look at is one of the consequences of the fighting is the flow of refugees. And what we're seeing already are people fleeing mostly Western Ukraine to arrive in NATO countries. So far, we believe around 120,000 have made that journey, and the UN is suggesting that maybe 4 million Ukrainians will want to move. So we may, particularly if that fight for Kiev becomes as stiff as I've described it could be, we may see millions of Ukrainians leaving Ukraine for NATO, where they'll be grateful for the sanctuary and deeply disappointed at the lack of military support that they've received so far.
I see. I see.
Be under no doubt, this European capital is fast turning into a battlefield. There are troops on street corners and under bridges. Armoured vehicles constantly crisscross the city, bolstering positions, waiting for the enemy. The Ukrainian military are fighting, but they will struggle to hold on. Tanks, APCs and trucks maneuver beneath the road arches. They're attempting to shield themselves from attack from the skies, holding on until the Russian infantry and paratroopers attempt to get further into Kiev by road and on foot. Well, that's the expectation anyway. There's been a huge exodus from the city. Those left behind attempt to thumb lifts, heading west. Others stop passing cars and ask if they're heading their way. More often than not, it's a fruitless hope. The air raid sirens are irregular now. It's scary stuff. With their belongings, they try to hurry off the streets. Most head for the metro stations, trying to get underground.
Me? I wasn't in the army.
Mums and dads and their little ones, trying to find safety if they can't find a way out. Everyone feels exposed. Everyone feels vulnerable.
Well, that's a haunting sound of the air raid sirens. It's pushing people into taking cover. We just heard a crump of an explosion. It's like this all over the city now. There's APCs up here.
Exactly where and when the Russians may attack a new target remains unknown, of course, so there's constant movement. Much of the city is now deserted. Hardly any people in the centre of town, just a few cars driving between homes or looking for a few shops that are still open. And on the streets as well, civilian militia, armed and ready to support the army. Huge explosions woke everyone in Kiev as the Russian mission continues. fiery debris falling onto residential buildings below. This is life in Kiev now, the country's president making exactly that point.
Коли бомби падають у Києві, це відбувається.
When bombs fall on Kiev, it happens in Europe, not just in Ukraine. When missiles kill our people, it is the death of Europeans. I demand greater security for Europe, greater protection for Ukraine as part of a democratic world.
Many of the Ukrainian soldiers are very young and inexperienced. 21-year-old Sergei Petroshenko is the only soldier guarding a footbridge. He has fired 16 rounds in his life. Now he waits for the Russians. His home village has already fallen.
There are a Russian base in my village. And from my village, they're gonna go here on Kyiv to capture it. Yeah, it's really scary and terrifying. I am called to my parents. They really scared. There's Russians in our village, enemies. There's tanks, heavy vehicle. I hope that they will be fine.
In their thousands, they descended on the central railway station, trying to get seats on any train heading south. Guards firing into the air, trying to maintain order. It rarely works with people already traumatized. It was chaotic and desperate, but that is what it's like here now. The fear of the unknown is what's so difficult for the people. Ukraine is holding its breath while the world watches on. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Kiev. Any rumour of a Russian advance and hurriedly formed roadblocks suddenly appear. Volunteers and reservists springing into action. The defence of Kiev is taking on a character of its own, a character of collective responsibility, with vast swathes of society taking part. A short distance from this checkpoint, 2 vehicles have been placed across the road into the centre of Kiev. Volunteers filling sandbags and building the defences. Action is what is needed now, they say, not words.
We're waiting. We're waiting when you wake up. When you understand.
Where is your sanction? Where is sanction?
We don't need sanction.
Russia laugh from your sanction.
Where is Berezovsky? Where is Nemtsov? Do you know where is these people? Who guilty? So, you will be next.
People on the street who don't want to fight are either attempting to leave or heading for bomb shelters. But there are huge numbers of militias forming. They're everywhere, guns in hand, prepared to die fighting the Russians. The country's president is calling for everyone, and indeed anyone, to take up arms.
All those who can return to Ukraine, come back to defend Ukraine. And then we will have a lot of work to rebuild it. All those who can defend Ukraine abroad, do it purposefully, unitedly, and continuously. All friends of Ukraine who want to join the defense, come, we will give you weapons.
Всі друзі України, хто хоче приєднатися до захисту, приїжджайте. Ми дамо вам зброю. Усі деталі.
The city is remarkably quiet, eerily so. Few people probably believe that Kiev would still be held by the government for this length of time. But there is always nightly violence. A rocket struck this apartment block in the early hours of Saturday. A terrifying explosion filmed outside and inside. Terrifying the population is certainly its aim. In train stations and in the metro, people find shelter, either prepared to stay or waiting for a train away from Kiev. Amongst them, a group of university students ordered home by their parents.
yeah, maybe Russia wasn't as big as everyone thought it was.
Yeah, they thought that it just could do it in a day or two. But our army is too strong, and with the help of European community and USA, I think we can do it.
A key to any success in the defense of Kiev will be holding the 8 major bridges that link the east and west of the city. That or destroy them. Ukraine and Russia both know this.
Well, the security services here are now absolutely convinced that Russian special forces and what they call fifth columnists are trying to cross into the center of Kiev using the bridges that are very much the lifeblood of the city. They've said that they will use lethal force on anyone attempting to cross the bridge. Now, some will probably try, but they've also sort of made an appeal that it's so critical now that everyone needs to pull together and do as they're told.
Concerns about the infiltration of the city means that freedom of movement is getting harder. A curfew is now in place until Monday, with no exceptions. Soldiers will consider anyone on the street a Russian spy. For many people, this is likely to be a long and perhaps terrifying weekend. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Kiev.
Really glad you're able to join us because we want to show you something that's pretty extraordinary, actually. We're in Dnipro. It's a large industrial city in eastern Ukraine, and we are going to give you a glimpse of the Ukrainian war effort, but not in the way perhaps you were thinking originally. There are hundreds and hundreds of people here in Dnipro who have come to the center of town, and they are in the process here in this section of making Molotov cocktails. You see them, they're taking styrofoam, they've sort of grated the styrofoam, and they're now putting it into the bottles. The styrofoam works to make the Molotov cocktail sticky, to help it stick to vehicles, to other targets as well. You can see them grating it, and they're making it according to a recipe that has been distributed by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. Really quite extraordinary. You see there's so many people here doing this. All men between the ages of 18 and 60 have been mobilized. They're not allowed to leave the country. Many people are expected to fight, and I think what this shows is that many people in this country are willing to fight. It's not just people signing up to fight, though. Just in the background, you can see people bringing in supplies, food, water, blankets, sleeping bags, water, anything they think that will help the army. Also IDPs as well, bringing in supplies for IDPs. And this really is the whole community in action, supporting each other. A lot of people here feel like they have to do something, they want to do something. And I think it's one of the interesting things is that many of the people in this community are Russian speakers. They are ethnic Russians. But there is very, very little support for the Russian invasion, for Vladimir Putin. In fact, we have to be careful because we don't want people to swear. There are various chants that people will use about Vladimir Putin. There's very, very deep feeling here. People are really angry about what is happening. I think one of the things that is absolutely fascinating is that they're willing to do this. The people are so united. They are facing one of the world's mightiest militaries, one of the world's strongest, most mighty military forces, and they have made inroads into this country. They are advancing, and people here are willing to fight. Within the confines of this community center, the people of Dnipro rally to the cause, the defense of their city, the defense of their homes. The building was a blur of frenetic energy, of civic activism and patriotism as they prepare for war.
At first, we were scared, really scared. But now we are ready to fight. And fight like hell. So.
Some brought bed rests and blankets for the army. Others brought in medicine for the internally displaced. And new recruits for the military streamed through the door, although some seem less certain about it than others.
Изготавливаю алюминиевые окна, алюминиевые конструкции для больших домов. Ну, сейчас мне надо будет воевать.
You're ready to fight, you're ready to use a gun.
Уже готов. Раньше, может быть, у меня были какие-то сомнения, но теперь я готов точно. Это война.
Katerina Kozy is a bank manager with two daughters aged 11 and 4, and she's going to fight.
Are you prepared to use a weapon?
Я гадаю, що так, але я стріляла тільки в тирі. Насправді, у мене не дуже там багато досвіду, але я швидко вчусь.
These budding recruits will hand over their details and wait for the call. Citizen fighters in a nation which is rapidly mobilizing. And the army has hundreds of thousands to draw on.
This is an extraordinary thing. A spontaneous army forms in the middle of the city, although many here have little or no military
PM on
experience.
Saturday, Bro.
It doesn't seem to matter.
The Russians have a very strong military.
Моя думка, що один український воїн вартий щонайменше 7 росіян.
Ukraine above all, they cry. National pride.
Just comfortable.
Really glad you're able to
No,
do
no, no.
this, as we
I'm
want to
awake.
show you
I'm just
something,
comfortable. I'm
that's
just
pretty
relaxing.
extraordinary, actually. We're into Dnipro.
Just relaxing.
And freezing central bank assets. Along with this, there's a banning of its aircraft from Western airspace.
Gradually, global airspace is closing for Russia. Since Saturday, several countries have announced, one after the other, a ban on Russian planes from their skies until further notice. And on Sunday evening, Brussels announced the ban will cover the entire European Union.
We're proposing a prohibition on all Russian-owned, Russian-registered and Russian-controlled aircraft. These aircraft will no more be able to land in, take off, or overfly the territory of the European Union. So let me be very clear. Our airspace will be closed to every Russian plane, and that includes the private jets of oligarchs too.
Other countries outside the European Union have taken the same decision, among others Canada, the second largest country in the world after only Russia. In response, Moscow has already announced a ban on flights from several European countries flying over Russian territory. These latest restrictions come as the EU continue to discuss cutting some Russian banks from the SWIFT interbank messaging network, as well as added restrictions on Russian oligarchs.
We will discuss with the foreign ministers the announcement of tough economic sanctions. SWIFT, the central bank. I will also put forward additional listings against oligarchs. We'll target the elite of the Putin regime.
As sanctions continue to be imposed on Russia, it is yet to be seen what effect these will have on the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Well, President Putin cited the hard-hitting sanctions as well as what he described as aggressive statements by NATO members as the reason for ordering Russian nuclear forces to be put on high alert. Let's take a listen.
I ordered the defense minister and the chief of the general staff of the Russian armed forces to put the deterrence forces of the Russian army into a special mode of combat service.
With Putin's hand now effectively hovering over the nuclear button, much of the world has gasped in horror at the prospect that the invasion of Ukraine could escalate to become a fully fledged nuclear war, either by design or by mistake. Well, Philip Turl was on set earlier with Julia Kim to tell us more about the reactions to this step.
It's been decried almost universally by the West, by the United States, by NATO, by the European Union, by the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, everyone's come out and said, well, you know, there's no reason to do this, basically, because you have to remember that Ukraine is not a nuclear power. So why is Vladimir Putin threatening Ukraine with nuclear weapons if it can't fight back and retaliate on the same level? It's a worrying development, and I think there are some
maybe
reasons
take a
that
break
Vladimir
from the
Putin
news
is doing
fluffy
this. Part of it is
LLLL.
trying to intimidate Ukraine again by
Joining us now is former House Intelligence Committee Chairman and former California Congressman Devin Nunes. Chairman, you were talking about Russia long before it became fashionable to do so. What did you see before some other folks saw it that made you wary of that country?
Well, during the Obama-Biden administration, Trey, it was pretty clear that Putin was running around the world doing whatever he wanted. And we seemed to get caught with our pants down, so to speak, without having actual intelligence that we could use. We couldn't, I mean, one of the main jobs of the intelligence community
can be entertaining.
is to know what these countries' plans and intentions are. You know, pretty basic stuff. And we just kept dropping the ball across the globe. But I think you made a good point in your opener, and that is that, you know, a lot of people are
especially when it's criminals versus cops. That's why today we have for you not just any criminals fighting cops, but Karens fighting cops. Stay tuned, because as this video goes on, the clips just get better and better. This next Karen is literally named Karen. So a daughter and her friends were pulled over for having illegal tinting on their car, and then their mum, Karen, shows up and has a few things to tell the officers.
The storm of controversy started when Turner's daughter and 3 of her friends were pulled over in New Jersey for driving with tinted windows.
The receipt, this goes on file.
Mom rushed to the scene to find out what was going on.
What is the reason they were pulled over?
The driver has all the information, he'll tell you.
No. I need to know.
No, you don't need to know.
Okay.
You are not involved here. You're picking them up.
No, I'm involved.
Very quickly, Turner let it be known that she is a commissioner with the Port Authority. She was appointed by former Governor Chris Christie.
Why were they pulled over, first of all? Now, don't call me Miss. I'm Commissioner. Thank you.
Turner also says she has friends in high places.
I will be talking to the chief of police, and I will be speaking to the mayor.
Throughout the exchange, the cops remain calm.
Are you finished, ma'am?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked and very disappointed. Thank you for your help.
You may take them now.
You may not tell me when to take my child. You may shut the up and not tell me when I may take my kids and her friends who are PhD students from MIT and Yale. You may tell me nothing.
But once the tape was released, Turner was called boorish and the village idiot.
Karen Turner turned out to be a commissioner with the Port Authority and was forced to resign after the dash and body cam footage was released. Unlucky Karen.
Turner resigned under pressure from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, but with the controversy still raging, her tirade was discussed here at the board's first meeting since that dash cam video was released.
The conduct captured on the video is bullying and obstructionist.
Turner now says, as a parent, I was upset and uncomfortable with the unfolding events. I regret my tone toward the police officers and use of off-color language.
You may tell me nothing.
For this next clip, this male Karen was at a school board meeting. He refused to wear a mask despite being offered one multiple times by organizers. Police end up rocking up and told him to wear one or leave. Of course, the bloke refused both options, so the police are given no option other than to resort to using force.
Are you serious? Are you seriously going to do this? This is embarrassing. School board meeting.
They're part of the policy. So if you want, you can talk to $20 or something like that. As of right now, they want you. Sir, I really don't want to.
I know you don't want to do it. I know you do not want to do it.
Yep.
I know this guy doesn't want to do it, but unfortunately you have to follow these fools' rules, right?
If it's part of their policy that you have to ask.
So force me out. You're gonna make, yes, you're going to have to drag me out.
At that point, you could.
This is what you are doing.
At that point, you could.
You are sowing discord within our communities at every level. It's disgusting. Do you harass your clients when they're at your restaurant to put on masks? Do you harass them?
We have a super selfish Karen who gets caught texting and driving red-handed and then proceeds to argue with the officer who pulled her over.
Picture in case you wrangle me to the ground with police brutality.
I need your license, your registration, and insurance. Can you please put your feet in and close the door?
Why?
Because it's for my safety and your safety.
Well, you see my hands at all time. Is this against the law right there? Am I not allowed
I need
to have
your license,
is
registration, and insurance, ma'am. You're willing to text with your daughter in the back seat.
Dude, I'm not texting.
You were typing and you look, there's a picture there and you're typing under with a green text bubble.
I'm not
comments
texting.
Comments on a picture.
This is a little thing. Just
Okay,
to let you
know what?
you may be an
Go
old
ahead
man.
and give me.
So I use this little thing.
Okay, I don't need your insurance.
Where I
I'll pull it up, ma'am.
Where I hit
You
this.
are going to be issued a
And I talk
citation
in my
today.
phone like this. That's not.
That's why we don't have a
This Canadian Karen couple put on quite the show. Basically, Ken here was originally pulled over for yelling at someone on his phone while driving, and when the officer goes to hand him the citation, he gives him the finger and hits a cop as he rather aggressively drives away. Assuming this was in Alberta, it's actually illegal to flip anyone off for that matter, let alone hit them with your car.
I'm at the hospital right now. I'm sitting in my vehicle and I'm keeping my composure, but I want this guy to off. Like, seriously, he's giving me a ticket for stunting because he heard me yelling at someone on my phone. And then I fingered him on the way out of there and told him to mind his business, and he's pulling me over for stunting again. I feel like driving away and starting a high-speed chase. This is over-policing.
Yes, sir. Just let me put you on hold for 1 second, okay?
This guy. There, I'm on the phone with your f***ing boss, you d***. You try and bully me, you piece of you.
$67? Are you f***ing serious?
I'm waiting for your boss to call me. Off and get in your car. You're a f***ing little bitch. Give me my ticket and go f*** yourself, goofball. F*** you. F*** off, you bitch. You're a f***ing clown.
He like pushed himself against your vehicle and was like, you just hit me. So now we have that to look forward to. These f***ing idiots, man. For sakes. Again, here we go.
Gun on me now. Listen to him. He's hitting the truck now. He's breaking my window. Holy f***, get him over here.
Assaulting a police
Get him over here. Holy help me. Help me. I won't.
Send somebody now, please. Got a gun on my husband.
He's tripping balls.
Send someone now.
He's tripping balls.
Help me. Holy help me.
Sakes, what are you doing? He didn't do anything. Send more people, please. There's another officer here, but he just told me to shut up. Please help. They're beating him up. Please don't hang up. I'm scared.
He's under arrest and he's going to be held for a bail hearing. So he'll be under arrest until he speaks to a judge, and then he'll be released. You can't drive your vehicle into a police officer.
He didn't. He was
did.
pulling
I was standing
away.
right here and he pulled into the side. He sideswiped me. It's the same as any other motor vehicle collision, except for that it was with the person. He did it intentionally.
Can I please take this vehicle home? Like,
yeah. You can't drive with the window like that, so you might want to pull the rest of it out. I'm not helping you.
This Karen manages to capture herself harassing a cop who also happens to be her neighbor.
Send me a citation? I would love to see that.
Obsessive porn. And I have rear cameras on the way.
I beeped at you, yeah, because you shouldn't be.
Bro, why am I dude double cheeked up on a Sunday for that? What the hell? I'm sorry.
And
wait,
I have
what?
rear cameras on the way.
I beeped at you, yeah, because you shouldn't be trying to break into buildings.
Break into buildings. I just showed you that I live here.
Okay, but before that, I didn't know that, did I?
Is it your business once again?
I live here, so it's safety of me and my building.
Well,
it
you
is.
see, I have my key right here.
Okay.
And you're being recorded too.
Good.
Okay.
That's
Like I said,
good.
it'll be on your citation.
I'm not getting a citation.
Oh, you are. You are.
No, I'm not. I'll fight it tooth and nail.
Fight it. You're still getting one.
Well, I'm not going to pay
I'll see
it.
you in court, though.
I'll see you in court,
Or when you
neighbor.
get your warrant for failure to pay, idiot.
Here we have Karen versus Cop Karen. While the dude recording here definitely has a point regarding the cops not wearing masks, you can also see no one else is in the store, so they are maintaining their social distance. Guys, let me know what you think of this one in the comments, because I'm sort of on the line.
If I don't wear a mask in the subway. What? Is the fine apply just to me or to you guys if I don't wear a mask? I'm just curious, like.
Well, you got actually, it states that as long as you can maintain 6 feet distance, you don't have to wear the
But you guys
mask.
don't
If you
look
want to
6 feet
step within 6 feet of me, I'll gladly put on the mask.
Okay.
So would you like to do that?
I mean, I feel like you guys are living less than 6 feet of each other.
You're the one that approached us, so would you
But I'm
like to
6
keep
feet
the
away
distance?
though. I'm 6 feet away though. Sir.
Okay, now we're 6 feet away and I don't have to wear my mask.
I mean, you should probably wear a mask during a global
You're the person that
pandemic.
calls someone, you know what I mean? Like, someone selling like water bottle on the streets.
Well,
You're the person that calls them. That's what you are. Alright, Carrie, you're like the male version of Carrie. So have a nice day.
Really, sir?
Yeah.
Hold on, what's your name?
Yeah, you know that. I'm ready to say it.
Okay,
Yeah, have a nice day, man.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, you too.
On the
Take
photo.
care, Karen.
Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you for protecting us during a pandemic.
See, that's the type of dude that, like, gets the crust cut off on his peanut butter and jellies, and that I would beat up and rob in high school and make fun of and smack in the head for fun. You know what I'm saying, or no? You know or no?
We already know Karens have quite the fetish for managers. However, some Karens take this fetish a little too far and release their inner rage in a rather rude manner. But what happens when a Karen messes with the wrong manager? Let's find out. You know you've rarely annoyed a Karen when she gets her husband onto you. That's exactly what happens in this clip.
Hey bud, what kind of business you got here?
I have work right down the road. I just can't park on the street. I'm waiting for the homeowners.
You need to go wherever you're supposed to be and park.
Sir, if there's
get off of this street. It's not a public street.
Then call the
and
police.
I appreciate you not talking to my wife like you talked to her.
If she was rude, I was rude back. You're from Texas, me as well.
You take this truck and you go to wherever you're going to be going because this is private property.
Call the police then.
You got it.
This Karen expresses her distaste towards her own son's to-be wife at their wedding. Imagine being in this situation for just a second. God help her son.
You're not going to ruin my
You are not going to say my son has flaws.
Wow.
Everybody has flaws, and that's why I love them. You can leave, Judy.
Like you don't have flaws.
You can get out of my wedding now.
I'm not leaving. That dress you're wearing, I paid for. Get out. I'm not getting out. Try it, and I'll have you arrested.
Tony, get her out of here. This is not right.
This Karen forgot that she didn't own this property and parked her new neighbor's car in, stopping her from getting to work.
Please get.
I already told you why.
There's a spot right there you could park in. And do you live here?
Who the f are you?
I live here.
There's somebody who lives here. Who is the same?
What? I need to get in my car and get to a job, and you're.
You don't have to treat me like this. I didn't do anything to you. So
you did too. You parked her in.
Oh, and I'm really hurt.
Yes, I need to get to my. I have responsibilities I need to get to. This is my parking spot.
No, it's not.
I signed a lease here. They said you can park right there.
No, they didn't.
Were you there?
Parked there when she signed the lease.
Why are you yelling at me too? Who the f are you?
Somebody. She asked to help her.
Good.
And you don't live here.
What do you think? You think I'm gonna
Please
hit you?
get
Is
in
that
your
why
car.
You're recording me?
Because you're being psycho. I would like you to get in your car and
Psycho?
move.
I'm being psycho.
Please get in your car and move.
I'll wait for the police to come in.
For what?
Because you're being rude to me. The whole time since you knocked on that door, you've been being rude.
Why would I be so nice to you when you're blocking me in when I have to go somewhere? You shouldn't do this in the first place. This is my spot. I live here. And you do not live here.
Check this Karen out as she steals a box.
What do you think for you?
Were you there? I signed a lease here. They said you can park.
That's plenty of room. That is plenty of room to move, by the way. I could totally get my car. That's plenty of room. That is plenty of room. Absolutely plenty of room.
To go live here.
On Black Friday. Steals a box off a child on Black Friday. This Karen's got no chill when it comes to McDonald's managers. Her behavior ended up getting her arrested.
Hey, get out! Touch me! Are you fucking crazy? Okay, don't touch me! Do not touch me! I'll destroy you! Only let go! Fucking go, get out! God assaulted her. She can put you in jail. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. You unfairly assaulted her. You hit me and her. I don't give a go to prison. Okay, then I'll go. Battery. Then I'll go to prison. Do not touch her again. I will go to prison. Don't touch my boss again. I never had a black.
This has got to be one of the weirdest and most calm interactions with a Karen that we've ever come across.
Do you mind telling me why you stopped me?
You my consent.
Okay, so you just stopped me and called me. You just stopped me. You flagged me down in the street.
Incorrect.
You flagged me down in the street. So
Watch your mouth.
I did what?
Time.
What are you talking about?
Watch your mouth second time. I didn't call you.
What did you call me? Okay, so we've never met, right?
Say sorry.
Why am I going to say sorry?
Because you said I called you.
Okay. Well, you've called me, so I don't really need to apologise, do I?
You will.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
No, I'm gonna end the I said to you about ending this conversation because what on earth are you doing? No. Are you? What on earth are you doing? What's that about? Do you feel better now?
The water, it's not the wine, so it's gonna get dry. Don't worry.
Okay.
Derangement is a pretty common trait amongst Karens. This Karen in particular has got to be high on something. I mean, just check out her pupils.
I seen this.
I won't hand you because you're not letting me out. That's unsafe. So you're not letting me out. I feel unsafe. I will ram your car. So you can either one, move the away, or I'm gonna feel unsafe and I'm gonna ram your car.
Right now, you're being the aggressor.
Matt, I'm letting you know. I feel do not. I feel do not.
Go back in your car.
I don't feel
I feel like my penis needs to be a vagina, and I'm very uncomfortable. Please, somebody, nah.
I don't feel safe to go around.
This pussy grabs back. This pussy grabs back. Shut the fuck up.
I'm letting you know.
Have you been drinking?
No, I have not.
You certainly sound like you're high or drunk.
I'm letting you know. Call the cops. They're not doing anything. I don't feel safe, and I'm not going. I'm not going around. Leave them alone. I'm not going around. I'm letting you know that I don't feel safe to go around. That is my.
I got a lot of participation trophies when I was a kid, and I'm entitled. Fuck you. Suck my dick.
Stop it right now.
No. You had her finger right here. What are you expecting? No. Oh, this is great. I got your license number. I work at DMV. You're gonna get in a hole. Oh, I am. You think I am? Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. One thing, I'm sober, which is great.
I hope so.
They come and they're blocking my way out of here. You told them I could not get out of here without them going. Because this is going to be amazing.
Xanax.
Holy! Total hit and run! Hit and run!
This Karen was drunk driving and hit another car. She then offers the driver $100. And then check out what happens next.
I was in the military. Laugh at me. Go for it. Okay, give me $100 then. I'll give you $100. Like, seriously, I barely scratched your car. Are you kidding me? Like, I barely scratched your car. If you're still calling the cops, so I'm not gonna pay you $100. So I barely scratched your car. I could buff that out with my tongue. Here, I'll just call the cops right now. It's fine. We have no damage to either vehicle. They're gonna be like, who hit who? No, I'll just call the police. It's fine. She's leaving.
Oh,
She's
call the
leaving.
cops.
She's gonna get hit. She's gonna get hit. She's gonna get hit. She's gonna get hit.
You want me to call 911?
Yes, call 911.
Here we have a Ken who wasn't exactly down for a chat while paying for his groceries, or any chat at all for that matter. Basically, he got sick of having to listen to the customer in front of him have a chat with the cashier as they scanned groceries.
Enjoy your rest of the day.
Screw you.
I hope you have a
I'm
good
not
day.
here for your social hour, child.
Hope you have a
I'm
good
here
day.
as a customer,
hope you're
idiot.
happy.
Where's the
You're a
manager?
dummy.
Where's the man?
Jesus Christ. Schmuck. Both of you. Take your picture. Hey, here's the real bill. I'm just trying to check out.
That's kind of verbally abusive, sir.
I'm not waiting 5 minutes for this. Look at the little boy.
Thank you.
Waste
Have
of
a good
skin.
day.
Said about
Have a good day.
you know what the Supreme Court said about free speech? All of you.
Bye.
Imagine someone at a store getting angry at a blind man for mistaking their own cart for his. Well, imagine no more, because that's exactly what happens here.
Karen freaks out on an innocent blind man.
Away from me! What the f are you doing? Why do you keep walking up to me, sir?
I'm just trying to get my cart.
This is not your car. I literally have
isn't-
pictures of it sent to my husband.
This Karen thought he was a big
That was fake, by the way.
dog until a McDonald's worker mouthed back at him and he walked himself straight out of the store.
It's too bad the way you're running your establishment.
Fuck up and get the f out of here, dude.
Come in here, everyone's running around like little kids.
You're an asshole. Can't put in a goddamn attitude. I told you, goddamn mom, to close that fucking center.
Which I don't like. Which I don't like.
I'm 22. Now a kid. I'm not gonna run this.
I love working.
No, those are regular salads.
I don't see any signs there.
Ooh. Hang there.
From getting tased twice after running and kicking a cop to Karen out quick and got arrested. This Karen lost the plot when her ex started filming her while picking up his son. Now a quick little backstory just for context. This video is an ex-husband picking up his child from his now ex-wife, but she just wasn't having any of it.
Can you please tell him to stop?
Oh, see, I told you. See, I told you.
You arrested for obstruction.
See, but you didn't listen, right?
Oh, fuck! All in for my son. All in for my son.
But you didn't listen, right?
Oh, fuck!
See, but you didn't listen, right?
Oh, fuck! All in for my son. All in for my son. Why don't you check on my son, please?
Go. You put hands on police officer.
I did not! You mother... Yeah! Oh, yeah, you want...
Down.
Fucking
Moving forward
idiot.
now, this Karen gets an $80 fine, but then gets arrested after she does something that you guys won't believe.
All right, Miss Hamill, since you informed me that you've had that for 6 months.
Oh yeah, and we're just looking for a bed because we can't find a short bed. I mean, my brother's looking for it. We're
Can
all
you at least get the light?
I don't know if I can get the they've got lights on them, don't they? They do have lights in them, and they do work.
Well, it's broken.
Yeah, I know it's broken.
So if you hit your brake lights, that white bulb's going to blind somebody at night.
Oh, okay.
Well, I did issue for a defective equipment. It's $80. You have till September 16th to take care of this. Get you to sign there with the Exodus.
So you don't even give a warning for this?
You've been driving around for 6 months like that.
I'm truthful.
You don't want to sign it?
No, because I don't think that I deserve to pay $80 for something that is fixable and I can fix it.
All right.
If that's all you want to do.
Go ahead and step out of the car.
Why?
Because you're under arrest. Step out. Step out of the vehicle.
No, I'm not.
Step out.
No.
Step out. I'm giving you a lawful order. Step out.
You be fair with me and I'll be fair with you.
Step out.
No.
You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
Place you under arrest. Step out.
You are full of shit because you're not placing me under no damn arrest.
Do not take off.
Shut up and give me that and I'll sign it.
Step out.
No.
We're beyond that.
Do you want me
Step out.
After not going far and stopping just around the corner, it's about now that the officer decides it's time to ramp things up.
See your hands! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
You better leave me! I said leave me alone and I mean it. Leave me alone.
Put your hands behind your back! Put your hands behind your back! Lay down and put your hands behind your back! Now! No, you will not! You're gonna get it again!
This Karen was just arrested and charged for a list of new offenses. Now that's a perfect example of what not to do when a cop pulls you over. This male Karen managed to accuse a young teen for riding on his bike on one wheel and things just went too far. Instead of asking him not to do wheelies on the footpath, he decided this was a matter for the police.
It's
Then
not
if you
illegal.
even touch me, do you know what's happening?
Touch you? I'm not even touching you.
I don't want this in my neighborhood. I'm calling the cops.
Okay, call them.
Good. Because it's kids like you that are going to hurt somebody.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you go somewhere in Stanford and do that shit?
I already do it.
Don't do it downtown anymore.
The cops don't care.
They're going to
So why do you care?
Because you're going to hurt somebody. And if my friends are here and you do it and you run
Your
into
friends?
them, they're going to knock the out of kids like you.
Okay.
This is Ramona University. This kid who's run into me more than once with his
I
bicycle.
haven't run into you.
I'd like you to send policemen down. This kid is doing something that's highly illegal.
It's not
and
illegal.
He's riding his bike without a front tire and he's running into elderly people in the middle of University Avenue. And I want to file, my name is Eichen. I want him right.
Now, while on the phone with the police, he wouldn't let the teen leave because he was clearly drunk and said, because you can't leave the scene of the crime.
Eichen, and I want that. No, stay here because the cops are going to write you up. Eichen, I'm pressing charges against this kid.
Charges? Bro.
Yeah,
Now, I want you to keep in mind, towards the end, a woman stepped in to stop the situation, except this male Karen still had other plans.
Bro, I swear to God.
No, dude, don't leave the scene of a crime. Because
not a
I'll
crime.
have to tackle you.
It's
Send
literally-
the cop down to University of Ramona. There's going to be an incident.
Go ahead, take off. Go.
I literally can't do
Take off.
anything.
Okay.
Can you go? Just walk.
I'm trying to walk.
I'm just trying to make sure you guys get here. This
Come
kid
on.
just run into me.
Oh my.
Side street.
I don't need to get out of here.
You what?
I don't need to get away
You
from
don't?
here.
You're okay?
Yeah, but I don't know why
Please send a cruiser down to Ramona University.
I mean, he's mad because I'm doing willies, but the cops don't even care, and I know them.
Okay.
It's happening
So you're
right
okay-
now.
you're
It's
okay?
going
Yeah,
down
I'm
now.
fine. They're just gonna tell.
to make sure you're
Oh no, thank you.
okay. Take care of yourself.
No, you guys need to respond. This is dangerous.
Now, this next clip is a classic. This Karen goes way too far after being asked to wear a mask. She refuses to leave and even says she's being kidnapped.
Get your hands off of me. You are kidnapping me. I will What is your name?
I'll give you money.
Take your hands off of me. You don't have the right, sir. Get your hands off of me. I've done nothing wrong. I am not a criminal. Get your hands off of me. Get your hands off of me.
Ma'am.
No.
Ma'am.
That's a violation.
Ma'am.
Take your hand off of me.
And things just keep getting worse and worse for her once she steps outside. Take a look at what she's doing.
That was stealing my purse.
She out of here?
I have done nothing wrong. Take a picture of these guys. Get their names. Get their names.
Can I have your badge ID, please?
Yee-hoo!
Can I have your badge ID?
You getting all this? You see this? This is illegal.
I don't see no badge on you, sir.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Let go of me. Shame on you. Let go of my purse. Are you filming this, sweetheart?
Yes, I am.
Are you filming this, sweetheart? Stop it! You cannot arrest me. I've done nothing illegal. I have done nothing illegal.
What you been arrested for?
Stop it. Stop it.
Put your arms back. Stop resisting.
Let go. I am not under arrest. Leave me alone.
Here we have yet another crazy Karen who was denied access to a street after an accident occurred and police had to close the area for investigation. Instead of walking around, she threw dog poo at the officer, and what happened next literally blew my mind.
No, I'm standing right here. This is where me and my dogs are standing. I'm standing right here.
She later accused the police force of laying on her two pugs while arresting her, but still landed herself a string of bad charges.
We all know Karens love to believe they're never wrong. But what happens when a Karen tries their luck against a judge and things still don't go to plan? In this video, we take a look at when 5 entitled Karens completely got sat back down. This Karen was arrested for violating state orders because she can't have it.
What game is this guy playing?
Her way after
this game looks awesome.
Failing to give her testimony.
Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I would like to call.
Ma'am, stop. I know you want to control this room, but this isn't Burger King. When the sign changes to Burger King, you can have it your way. Right now, this is my courtroom, and you will answer my questions. Stop. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Yes or no? Are you going to tell the truth?
She then gets fined $7,500 and gets 93 days contempt of court. Take a look at her reaction.
In silence, I understand her attorney is on here. Where is her attorney?
He's their big back home.
Again, say anything again without telling me you're going to tell the truth, and I will hold you in contempt of court for 93 days. Contempt carries with it 93 days and or $7,500. You will not act disrespectful in this court. Do you understand, ma'am? You certainly may remain silent. Where is your attorney?
An article later came out with the judge saying you have selfishly not followed the orders and you've not followed them for your own financial gain. She was later released from jail after closing her restaurant and paying a $15,000 contempt of court fine.
Damn.
Now, what happens when you have no understanding of the law, but think you can tell the judge how it works? Well, this lady's about to find out.
Find the case of Nicoletti versus Stevens, case number 0672178,
May it please the court, Your Honor. Paul Nicoletti appearing on behalf of self.
Good afternoon, Judge. Karen Stevens, in pro per for my motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
I'm sorry, on this what?
I have a motion for sanctions against.
I know that. And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense. I am not stalking Mr. Nicoletti.
I haven't signed a PPO.
His petition for a PPO. Let me.
Okay, were you served?
No, I wasn't. But may.
No, you may not.
How can you ask to sanction someone when you haven't even been served?
That's the point.
Stevens, do not interrupt me when I'm speaking, ma'am.
Her attitude and entitlement ends up landing her a $500 fine, but take a look at what happens next.
I have a constitutional right to be heard.
On what basis? There is no case before me, ma'am, other than the fact that you filed this frivolous motion, taking up this court's time for no good reason other than your own personal vendetta against this man for whatever reason you may have, and I really don't care because it does not involve me or my court. However, had I issued a PPO, you would have a basis to be before me. I did not issue a PPO. He did not pursue his right to a hearing on the PPO. You were never served, and here you are taking up my time so that you want me to chastise him and make him pay money? No, ma'am. Your relief is denied, and in addition to that, I am sanctioning you with costs of $500 forthwith to the county clerk's office.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I knew it was fixed.
I beg your pardon?
I knew it was fixed.
Now we've all seen window cleaners going up and down skyscrapers and thought, what if the cable broke? Well, this Karen made it happen. When she saw ropes outside her window, she decided to cut the rope out of anger. This made it impossible for the two men to get down. Luckily, a couple spotted the men and offered for them to come inside.
take care โอเคดีๆแฟนก็ถามเขาทำอะไรดี
If found guilty, this Karen now faces up to 20 years in jail. However, she still denies attempting to assassinate the artist, saying she was only annoyed because she hadn't seen the maintenance notice. This Karen didn't want to cooperate with the judge during sentencing and landed herself 10 days contempt of court, but it's what she does next that nobody understands.
Go now.
For some reason, she tried to grab the judge, which landed her 120 days contempt of court, and now she faces charges a lot worse. Moving on, this Karen doesn't try her luck against the judge. Instead, she tries her luck at the coffee shop.
I am so sorry that 20 is all I have, but I just want you to know that you deserve so much more. Like, so much more. I mean, I voted for Clinton, not that that's important, and like, I wouldn't tell you who to vote for, but obviously you had to vote for Clinton, like, too. But like, I voted for her, and she wants people to have so much more. Like, she wants a fair wage. Like, I think even more than Bernie did, maybe, but I don't know, because I don't know them personally. Like, I don't know you personally, but you seem so
It's been going on for 10
amazing.
minutes already.
And like, I am just so proud to be able to order a latte from like you, because you are just such an incredible human. I want everything for you, like everything you want right now. Like, I want it.
Now she keeps on going, and it's clear that she's had something bad to be in this state.
Don't you think that she deserves free access to safe, affordable health care? Like, that's what I want for her. I want for, like, if you want to have kids and you don't have to because that's your choice, and Secretary Clinton believes that that is everybody's choice. It is a choice, so you don't have to, but if you did, I would want them to have clean water even if they grew up in Flint, Michigan, okay? Like, I would want to go to Flint, Michigan. I wish I could go there and clean all the water. Like, sometimes I feel like your coffee is just so delicious,
That's funny.
Karens are crazy. Karens are... Karens, as we all know, love
Alright,
to
one
believe
more.
they're never wrong.
One more.
But what happens when a Karen goes against the wrong person and things don't go according to plan? In this video, we take a look at what happened when entitled Karens tried their luck. But before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe for future videos because I'll be coming back to give updates on all of these Karens, and if you want to be in the video, please submit your clips in the description below. Now back to the video. This Karen decided to stand in front of the bus, stopping them from going home.
I just tried to be nice.
She's really rude, you know? I was gonna let her on.
The woman is not letting us go. She's standing by the bus. I did ask the driver to let her on, but she's being rude to him. So he currently can't move because she's standing in front of the bus. And I need to get home. It's really idiotic. I don't know why. And this is the last thing anyone needs on a Friday evening. There's other passengers who want to get home. Excuse me.
Please.
Excuse me. There's no need for this. There is no need for this.
Now watch when this Karen realizes she's being filmed.
Seriously, there's no need for this.
Move! Take me off the phone, you know! Take me off your phone, you know! Take me off the phone! You think I'm playing with you? You think you're filming me? Take me off the phone now! Call the police now! Call the police now! Call the police now! You think I'm playing? Call the police now! What the you doing? Stop filming me, you know! Stop filming me! Stop filming me!
You lot?
I'll get arrested today! Stop filming me! I'm a paying customer! I don't care! Take the thing off the phone now! Take my video! Listen! Don't mess about with me, you know! Phone the police! Phone the police now!
Now this Karen thinks that because she was doing 38 in a 40 zone when pulled over, that she can be on her cell phone when driving. However, it's when she starts calling the policeman a murderer that confuses me.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Good morning.
Which is, and the speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer.
Because
yes, I started to record because
you can't
you're a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
You.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
What's your apartment?
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly left it at home.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it?
Now this Karen keeps saying she's scared and that's why he's a murderer. Take a look.
And can you call your supervisor, please?
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer. And so you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Is that why you're harassing me?
Not harassment. Yeah. I am enforcing the law.
I have a right to record the police when they're harassing me.
By all means, but you can't do it while you're driving.
I wasn't texting or none of that.
Do you have that picture?
You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling, you're a murderer.
Okay.
Now this Karen randomly stormed up to these teens in a forest about a BB gun, calling police and saying they're aggressively walking towards her, etc. Take a look.
This lady walked up to us and screamed, "Get the f*** out of here."
No, I'm a private citizen here. Yes, they're shooting a weapon.
A BB gun. It's a BB gun. It's a BB gun.
It looks like a pistol.
It's a BB gun. You would have heard it. You would have heard it if it was a pistol.
Yes, it looks like a pistol. Yeah, I actually own a gun. I'm a military wife.
Well, that's not what a gun sounds
years.
like, so...
That's not what a gun sounds like, girl.
I'm trying not to escalate.
So aggressive, are you kidding?
She's glowing in the sun. Look at her.
This came out here and started screaming at us.
I live here, bruh.
Yeah, we live here.
This older Karen hits a car and says, "Who cares?" Pull it out with the plunger, but it's a lot funnier than that. Roll the clip.
You hit my truck. Look at this big dent right there.
Too bad.
No, not too bad.
What the What's gonna cost for that? Nothing. You pull it out with a plunger.
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
You get a plunger, you pull it out.
No.
Yes. Big deal. You pull it out with a goddamn plunger. That's nothing. You know that's nothing.
It's not nothing.
Yes, it is nothing. You could pull it out with a plunger.
You couldn't
Yeah,
have
quick,
backed
what's up?
up without hitting me and hitting my car?
Of course I could have. I didn't know I hit your car. Maybe I didn't. How do you know? Just a little bit of paint on it. That's
Yeah,
all. Not
and
even
you-
a f***ing dent. Imagine that.
Now things are kind of sad for this Karen after she forgot to leave out her parking permit. But is she just making all this up? Take a look at the situation.
We're not going to have a happy Saturday because I am not happy.
I'm sorry about that.
I have always put that damn tag in my window all the time. I am 65 years old. I got home after taking dinner someplace last night to some people whose grandkid died, and to my sons from Springville. And I got home around midnight. I think it was after. I forgot to put it in my window. And I am really mad. When I have a warning, I'm giving you guys a warning. I know this is your job, but you better know my car and you better know who I am. Because I'll make your life hell. I promise you that. I'm so furious about this.
So if we can see it in the vehicle, generally we'll let it go. So I mean,
Well, I'm not going to say generally. I'm going to say, please, make sure it's always let go.
Well,
in this
can you
vehicle,
see that?
okay?
so I mean, obviously I can see that.
Okay.
They would have to check the video footage. I mean, you can always appeal it and they can check it to see if they saw it. But
No, it wasn't there last night. Because I'll tell you something. The way our car's set up, it actually broke.
yeah.
It doesn't work. So we've been putting here. Now it actually works better than it did. And I always have it showing, always. But last night I didn't. So you're gonna threaten me with $1,000 and put a boot on my car?
So that's a warning.
Take your glasses off.
So, well,
Please.
it's bright out here, ma'am. So, I mean, the problem is,
Okay.
that warning there is to tell you if you tamper with the boot or try to damage the boot, then we're going to charge you with a Class B misdemeanor and a $1,000 fine, as well as for the boot replacement and the boot fees. So that's just there to try and deter people from damaging our property. So, I mean, where that
We're
permit...
in the shade, by the way. It's not bright right now.
Okay, ma'am, whether I wear sunglasses outside or not, it's not a concern, okay? So for me to take this boot off, it is a $60 fee. And our guys will check through the windows if we can see it in the open, where we can see it like where he was showing it. That is something that generally we'll see that and be like, all right, yeah,
But if they
you're good.
don't, and if they miss it, then we're just out another $65.
So I mean, that's the risk you run if you don't have it somewhere that's very visible. So, but if we can see it, we'll leave the vehicle
I wish
alone.
I could see your eyes, because that's kind of chicken shit to talk to me and not take your damn glasses off.
I mean, I don't
Just
know why
respect.
I don't know why my glasses are a problem for you, ma'am.
I
Okay,
don't
well,
know
let's
why
let
it's
go
a
of that.
problem
Let's
for
go.
you.
Let's get this taken care of.
These for you, okay?
Bullshit.
Excuse me. Take it off.
So after the fee's been paid, I'll take the boot off.
$60.
It's paid.
Watch as this Karen is upset that she didn't get a car parked. But it's what happens when they're leaving that's really funny.
This lady is so mad.
Well, no, usually the husband's the same way. And then when they're not, then usually he hates his life.
Because she wanted the parking spot.
Oh!
Anonymous tipped $2. They talk about drilling. They talk about drilling, talk about drilling, talk about drilling, and fuck it, you thinking I'm soft? Bitch, you bugging my anger be sudden imma just be RTT to bratting, then unload my gun.
We got. She's been here the whole time at Starbucks honking at Austin.
Think of it, $2.
Now she's blocking him in. You can't make this shit up.
Come on, listen.
Wait for this one. She's gonna love this.
This silly Karen tries to ruin a street performance by calling the police.
Whatever you have in your own. Okay, you know what, fellas? Come right over here, fellas. Right over here, fellas. Walk right over here. All right, fellas. Go do. You see that? We're not gonna let her bring the energy.
Now, this is where it gets really funny.
Get out! All right, guys, we're going to continue it. We're going to wake this place up. Follow me, fellas. Let's wake this place up. Everybody wants the Soul Brothers back. Follow me, fellas.
Bad luck for this professor as he starts accusing one of his students, but then gets told some unlucky news.
Miss Salazar, I've been talking to you, Miss Salazar.
No, I can hear you a little bit.
You can hear me a little bit? Why didn't you answer all the times I spoke to you then? You know, thank you. Thank you. Why don't we talk sometimes? Why don't you email me? We'll set up a live Zoom.
That's one of those weird liberal professors that pushes liberal rhetoric on their students that ruins America.
And we're going to have some real communication at some point in time, okay? Maybe you can have your counselor join us, okay? Do you hear me? Okay, wonderful. Do that.
Professor, she's actually hard of hearing, so her translator goes in a little bit late. She can't respond, like, right away.
She's not paying attention. She's not trying.
Oh, your door's open.
Oh yeah, sir. I don't feel comfortable opening this door without my parents here, sir.
Who are you?
I'm my son. My mom owns the
You're son. my son.
No,
What's
I'm
your name?
my mom's son.
Where's your
That's
mom
my
at?
My mom's not here, sir.
What's your name?
I
How old are
don't
you?
even feel comfortable.
How old are you?
I don't
I
feel
need to
comfortable.
find your girlfriend. Oh, your door's open.
It was an illegal search of this home. It was an illegal seizure of that minor, and ultimately it was a false arrest.
What the fuck is that?
Yo, it's Vin tipped $3.33. It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour, put in the work, put in the hours and take what's ours. Who black and Samoan in my veins, my culture banging with strange. I changed the game, so what's my motherfucking name? Rocco and fuck you Keith.
Thanks for the 333, Vin, appreciate that.
Post it up, post it up, post it up.
What the fuck was that video of? Yeah, I've heard that.
Anonymous tipped $2. If you ask me, please don't ask me, when it come to bitches, like my shorty super nasty, but if we talking chops, I love 40 glocks. If we talking blocks, we done spend a lot. If you talking hops, simple, make your niggas pop, pimple.
Give me $2.
The video that I have reviewed certainly raises concerns and raises questions for me as a police chief.
Oh my God, call the cops, please. I am the cops. I can't believe he did this to me, man.
Okay, we're not going to talk about this right now. We're going to focus on keeping you alive, okay?
I seen this.
When the deputy knocked or rang the doorbell, made contact at the door, gentleman came to the door, jerked it open immediately, presented and pointed a gun directly at the deputy, at which time the deputy returned with fire.
What is I saw lights and I heard the doorbell ring and I got it with my gun. I'm a concealed weapons guy. You came to my house at 12 o'clock at night. I'm sleeping. God damn, I gotta protect my house. Oh my God. Who are you?
The sheriff's office!
What are you here for?
Because we got an alarm call!
Oh my God, call the cops, please.
I am the cops!
Call the ambulance, please.
All right, where's the gun? Where's the gun? All right, don't move it. Are you the only one here?
What's wrong with you, man?
I'm up here.
Where are you hit?
In my groin and my chest. The you doing, man?
You pointed a gun at me, man!
You were in my house!
Yeah, well, send me 1051. I rang your doorbell because we got an alarm call.
Bad in my groin.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Got shot in the dick, dude.
Oh my God.
10-4. Come here, hold this light.
Get the ambulance here, man. I'm gonna die.
They're coming. Just stay with me.
You shot me here and you shot me here.
All right.
Oh my God.
Just take some deep breaths.
What? What is
I saw lights and I heard the doorbell ring and I got it with my gun. I'm a concealed weapons guy.
Okay.
Get the ambulance here, man. I'm gonna die. Hurry.
No, you're not. You're not gonna die.
Shot me right here, dude.
Okay.
You motherfucker. Why did you do that?
Because you pointed a gun at me,
Dude,
man.
you came to my house at 12 o'clock at night. I'm sleeping. God damn, I gotta protect my house. Oh my God. Get the ambulance
Go
here,
ahead.
man. I'm gonna die.
They're coming. They're coming.
You motherfucker. I can't believe you did this to me.
I'm good. This guy's got 2 gunshot wounds.
I can't believe you did this to me, man.
Okay, we're not going to talk about this right now. We're going to focus on keeping you alive, okay? So take some deep breaths and calm down, and you're going to be okay, all right?
According to the deputy, after noticing the man inside, he illuminates him with his flashlight, and as he did so, the man, who was initially walking away from the front door, turned and pointed his gun at him. In an effort to defend himself against a perceived threat, the deputy fired his issued weapon as he retreated off the porch, and subsequently struck the individual multiple times.
The sheriff's office!
What are you here for?
Because we got an alarm call!
I vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people. He's under arrest currently for making a threat to cause a mass shooting / act of terror.
Cause a mass shooting?
Yes. He made a statement, a written threat to plan or to carry out a mass shooting.
But he's just a little kid playing a video game.
And all these kids keep getting arrested. And that's why the FBI and the local law enforcement is spending so much time. Because how do we know he's not going to be the kid from Parkland? He's not going to be the next kid, the kid that shot up Sandy Hook. We don't know that.
These kids say stuff like that all the time. It is a joke to them. It's a game.
Guess what
wrong.
my time in law enforcement is spent doing? Is arresting these kids for making these statements all the time. And for stopping acts too, as well.
Okay.
So that's what our job is to make contact, because these kids think that it's a game or a joke, so they go ahead and make these comments.
But it's just a comment, so how is there an
There's
arrest?
a Florida state statute that says you cannot make a written threat to cause a mass shooting, act, or kill or harm anybody else. Legislature has chosen to
Well,
do
he didn't
that.
cause or act or do anything, though.
He made the statement too.
It's a written statement.
It's a written statement. It's a written threat to kill or to make a mass shooting or act of terror. So if I get on there and say, I pledge ISIS and I'm going to blow everybody up, that's the same charge as, you know what, man, I'm fed up. I'm going to go to school tomorrow and shoot up my school. So he'll be going to DJJ.
What's that?
The juvenile jail. He'll be placed in there for several days. And we're going to go from there. The charge is a felony. It might be a second or third degree. I have to double check, because a written threat to harm somebody is a third degree felony. Second degree is when you involve a mass shooting in a school or an act of
He's a
terrorism.
little boy. He
He's a
didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Okay, well, he did what he did.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be treated as though he is a terrorist or something because he made a silly statement on a stupid video game.
Well, in a world where schools and kids are going to school to learn and are getting shot and killed because people...
I understand that, but at the same token, I mean, you have to look at things case by case too. I mean, he's not that person.
Do you own a gun?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay, so he has hands and feet. He can grab your gun and go do something.
He would never do anything like that anyway.
We don't know. We don't know.
No, but I know. And I know.
Most parents have it, ma'am. We're going to take him. He's going to go to our operations center, and we will go from there. But this is where we're at. This is the world we live in, where people think it's funny to say, I'm going to go kill people at school.
Well, he's not people. He's a child.
Okay.
There's a difference. He's playing a video game, and he's a boy.
And that's why he'll be charged as a juvenile.
Unfortunately, these days and age, this is what happens. Kids get on these things, and they say this, and parents say, it's not my son, and then it might not be your son, but
I know it's
unfortunately,
not my son.
somebody's son does, and then this is the world we're in, where kids are getting shot at school, where they're trying to learn, and
I
kids are getting
understand that.
shot in
I
buildings.
understand that. I understand
Unfortunately,
that.
we can't take risks, and we can't say, all right, we trust that this guy's not going to do it, and then it happens, and then we say, well, we had the chance
Yeah,
to
but
stop
I'm
it.
telling you right now, this is not my son. My son and I are like this, and it's just us. It has been, and it's not my son. He's a little boy still.
It's a tough situation. I know you're
He's
emotional.
high intellect and smart mouth.
Well, that's
And
what
you
got
know
him
what?
caught up.
The grown-ups on these games goad them into these things, which is what happened.
You need a roof over your head, food, and water. He doesn't need the game. You should probably
That's right, he doesn't.
You should take those away, because these adults that are influencing may have done that in the past, but guess what? They're not in trouble today. He is, because he made those statements. We can't put on what they've said in the past to give him justification why he said what he said, ma'am. He made the charge. He's going to face the consequences.
Yeah, but like what? Like I don't understand how they like got proof of it. I don't know.
Muy estimados jefes de Estado, de Gobierno, Grupo de los 20, señoras y señores representantes de los organismos internacionales, señores. Para México es un honor.
Obama. Through the high, when it be storming, cooking everything, gonna clear out by the morning. Telling lies, so I gotta be honest. Something you never run. Fix another. We put up on that dumb shit. Obama and Biden making fun of, or Obama and Putin making fun of Biden. I just want to know what it does. Oh, those are candies. Oh. I see. Candy sucks. Let's see what Stevenson's doing.
Emotions within the drag.
Yes! You are really knowledgeable in this. Wow.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I guess I've always kind of watched it. Like RuPaul.
Uh-huh.
So growing up, like watching that, I was like, wow, okay, Slade killed it.
Yes, slay. I was gonna say your hair. You slaying that. Yes. Look at you go. Yes.
Thank you. It was red.
Oh, and then what happened?
It's not red anymore because I dyed it like months ago. I dyed it in like November, late November.
Wow.
So it grew out a lot. It was like this short, and it was like bright red. So honestly, I just kind of didn't ever do it again.
Well, it worked out for the better because obviously, like, it is, wow. It's literally like the first thing I noticed about you, so that's kind of so awesome.
Yeah, it's like super grown out though, because this is like.
Wait, hold on. Your ears are huge.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a family. Literally everyone in my dad's family, it's a gene.
Wow. Is your dad Horton Hears a Who?
Honestly, he probably is. He's
Wow. That is crazy. I've actually been on here. I've just been kind of doing like exercise with people because like not a lot of people are like familiar with like how like the drag queen style is and all that type of stuff. So I kind of just been like educating people a little bit. You know, it's 2022. There's all these new things coming,
and it needs to be more normalized.
Right.
Like, I love that kind of the more LGBTQ plus kind of communities being recognized. More pronouns are being recognized.
Right.
Now the next thing that we need to normalize is drag. We need to stop hating on it. We need to realize that it's a beautiful thing. And
yes.
It's like looking at a painting in a museum. It'll make you feel something.
Preach, girl. Yes.
Yes. Like it'll make you feel something. Just like art. We need to normalize it.
Mm-hmm. So like I kind of so let me see. So you say you are familiar. Okay, so let's see. What's another thing? Because I've been doing this one exercise with them. It's kind of like if they don't go by like a different type of like, you know, the normal pronouns, we're kind of just like make our own kind of thing. So like you say you go by they, she, right? Mm-hmm. And then your name is Liv. Mm-hmm. Oh, my name is Nick, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned to you or not.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Nick. I go by the she, her pronouns. So basically, like, let's say like if you didn't use a different form of pronouns, they say you just went by the normal like she, her, or he, him kind of thing. So like I'll use your name, and then I'll use your secondary pronoun. So you go by they, she. Mm-hmm. So if I was to refer to you, I would refer to you as live she, live she, live she. right? And if you would refer to me, you would refer to me as
Nikki.
No, I go by the she, her pronouns.
Oh, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
My bad.
Nick, her.
Right. Yes.
Oh.
You know it's Black History Month, right? Liv, I'm talking to you. Do you know it's Black History Month?
Same jokes over and over again. Whatever. But I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go play World of Warcraft. And eat some food because I'm hungry. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I love you guys. See you tomorrow. What? What do you want me to do? It's been 3 hours. Don't bruh me. You bruh, I bruh. I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? I might have a little announcement for you guys tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, love you. Yo, Dark Z Dog. Are you in Autoblocks chat? I feel like I've seen your name in Autoblocks chat, or I've heard him say it before. I don't know. Maybe it's... Never mind. No, yeah, you're good. You're good.